What's up, everybody? You were tuned in to the Cris
Ammo.
podcast, episode 113, Big Energy Monday. Hope everybody's having a good Monday, whether you're at home, at work, whatever you're doing today. We hope you're having a good day. We
Hmm.
got a lot of topics to get into today. College football, crazy weekend in college football. Also, the NFL has some crazy games too. So, a little bit of baseball. Playoffs are here. WNBA stuff too. But until we get into that, Maul, what is going on?
Man, not much, bro. Feeling good, bro. Had the day off, man. Pretty excited weekend for sports, man. So, I'm pretty sure should be some interesting conversations on today's episode, man. But how you doing today?
Doing good, man. I had a good weekend, vacation weekend, didn't do nothing
I know
really.
a little vacation. How was
Chill.
your vacation, man? What y'all do? Y'all do anything?
No, we just chill, brother. Just chill. Watch
Watch, watch,
college football
watch
on
your Mizzou
Saturday.
get worked.
Huh?
Watch your Mizzou Tigers get worked.
We'll talk about that in a minute, okay? We
Yes,
ain't
sir.
gotta
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
talk about that in a minute. But yeah, it was a good weekend all in all though.
Yeah, yeah. I'll say this, man. I went to the UNLV game. I know we're gonna talk about that, man. Hey, I want to give everybody who did attend the game, man. I do have a lot of opinions about that game, but as far as the crowd, vibe in there was amazing, man. Vegas did show out, man. Syracuse fans, it did get a little hectic at the end. You know what I mean? I thought a couple fights were about to break out, but everybody was able to go home in peace, man. So, but overall, man, shout out to everybody that was at the game.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, man. Let's go ahead and talk about it, man. College football, college week 7, big games. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of big games that happened this weekend.
Hmm.
But we'll kick it off with the UNLV game because it was a Friday night game in Allegiant Stadium. Syracuse coming to town.
Yeah.
Uh, UNLV ranked at
Hmm.
2025. Um, they end up losing to Syracuse 44-41. Kyle McCord was 40 of 63, 355 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 INT.
Hmm.
LaQuint Allen had 19 carries, 71 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 9 catches, 58 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Uh, Gaddison had 10 catches, 142 yards. Jackson Meeks had 8 catches, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Haj Malik Willis had 20 of 25, 227 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. 12. He also had 12 carries, 53 yards, and a touchdown. Ricky White had 10 catches, 135 yards, and a touchdown. And Jaden Thomas had six carries and 64 yards. Um, Look, man, there was a lot of controversial calls in this game, starting off with I want to say it was the second drive of UNLV.
It
Uh,
was.
I think Syracuse had already scored. Um, it was a unsportsmanlike conduct call, pretty much saying that I forgot the kid's name. I think his last name is Kane. They said that he didn't. It was like a illegal substitution or something like that. But he was already in the game. He was already in the huddle. He had already been in the game, so it was a bad call. And I
Yeah.
was because when I was listening to it on the radio
Hmm.
on my way home from work, and of course, I was listening through the UNLV side of things, and even they at first they was trying to be politically correct, but I guess they got the word from upstairs to say no, tell it what it is. And the dude was on there like, no, it was a horrible call, it was terrible, it was a bad call. And
Hmm.
it kicked off things for Syracuse. They end up marching down and scoring again. um but UNLV, they pulled together, and shout out to Haj Malik Willis, man. The dude is even in dire and adverse situations, the dude is always poised. He's always rallying the troops to keep them together. He never, you don't see him waver. You don't see him with his head down when stuff is bad. You don't see him like cussing nobody out, yelling on
No, no,
nobody.
no, no, no.
He's very calm and collect kid, and I like that about the kid. And he rallied the troops and got them right, and the offense started rolling. You know what I'm saying? And it was a back and forth. Shout out to Syracuse. I'm not trying to take nothing away from Syracuse. Kyle McCord, that kid can throw the football. That,
Yeah.
that, that dude can throw. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe just things didn't work out in Ohio State or whatever. But he's got talent. You
No, he
clearly
does.
see
He
it.
does.
You
No, no.
clearly see it
I've
because
been
he
in
was,
person, and there were some throws that were
yeah, yeah.
amazing. There was one I think where he was scrambling to his left. Man, he made that little dime floater over. I think
Mhm.
tight end. Man, that got him that first time. I think it was towards the end of the first half where I think they got some points or something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, like I said, there were some questionable calls, some pass interference calls that were called like right on time for on third down. But at the
Mhm.
same time, it that I think his name is Gaddison, that tight end, they could
Mm,
not stop that dude on third down. Like every
mhm.
time they would get some stops, it would be like 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12. And
Yeah.
this kid would be wide open in the middle of the field. It was just he would keep the drives going. And that was one thing I would say about UNLV is they got to work on, getting teams off the field,
Mhm.
especially on third down. Because they're really good on first and second down, but third down, they got to work on that for sure, for sure. Second half, it was pretty much back and forth, going back and forth. Ricky White started getting going. He had a punt block. This kid is Ricky White is gonna be playing on Sundays. I'm tell you
Oh,
that right
that's
now.
easy money right there. Easy money.
He might be, a lot of people might look at him as a day three. I think he's a day two pick at the very minimum. He's going in the third or fourth round of somebody's draft. Now, if he runs a nice little uh 40 time,
I think
then
he get up to number two. I think he
that's
can.
what I'm saying.
Second round.
If he runs a good 40 time, has a good senior bowl or whatever, and looks really, really good in those games, then you could be looking at him playing getting drafted in the second round. So, but the kid is amazing. He had a great game. We had a couple picks we could have had in the second half that could have sealed the deal that,
Mhm.
we unfortunately couldn't hold on to. But let's just talk about it. Fourth quarter, uh, they get a false start, so they get pinned because they were right there at the goal line. We went into overtime. Actually, we end up kicking a field goal, so we're up by 3. Um, Syracuse is right there at the goal line. They end up, think having a false start, or it was something they pinned them back like 10 yards, 10, 15 yards, and so it was 3rd and 20. So pretty much they were out of field goal range, and we got to Kyle McCoy court, but they end up throwing the flag. Uh, they called roughing the passer and targeting, which put them pretty much at the goal line. Um, then they tried to, pick up the flag on targeting, which it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? They end up, running it in, scoring, and winning the game. But, shout out to UNLV. I don't think these boys should hold their head down. They should hold their head up high because they fought to the end. They really did. And this team is really good. It's a really good on both sides of the football. They got some
Mhm.
guys on there. They just got to clean up a few things and just go on to the next. Utah State is next. Go on in and show them that that you guys ain't no fluke.
Nah, man. I think on the offensive side, I have no worries with this team on the offensive side. I still think, I honestly, the way the game was going in the early stages of the game, I don't know if our boy Sluka could have threw his way out of that. You know what I mean? It would have been a little bit different. But Hodge is a better thrower of the football. Ricky White, you know what I mean? I still don't think I think he's a number one. I think he's a first round talent. Just the way he looked on the field, he looks like a big wide receiver. This might have been our worst games, I think, as far as defensively. But I would say this: when I was there at the game, those boys were on those receivers. I just think the throws that McCord was doing were they were amazing. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't think we have a true big like cornerback in situations like that because there's receivers that to me from the eye test just look way bigger than our corners. But
Yeah.
there was a touchdown I think in the corner. I don't know if it was the tight end or one of the receivers, but it was an amazing throw. It was like a kind of like a corner route to the corner post,
Hmm.
and the cornerback was right there. He had his hand up, but the throw was just so perfect that you gotta just tip your hat off to McCord. He was amazing. The one thing I did notice is that they just ran every screen in the book, and we could not stop it. The only frustration I would say I have on the defense is if you know for a fact that's all they're doing, because they really didn't throw the deep ball too much in this game. You know what I mean? It was more so just like bubble screens, flats, stuff like that. And the way the cornerbacks were playing, 5 yards back, I wish they would have tried to play a little bit more tighter coverage. That
Hmm.
would be the only complaint that I would have. Besides that, tip your hat off to Syracuse. But I will say this, man, those calls were egregious. That was an ACC crew. And I get it. There are terms and conditions that these conferences make when they do accept these games to come play. Mountain West teams or so forth. I get it. The big conferences they want their guys, but this was egregious to all levels as far as like some of the calls that were made and then the moments that they were made in. I get it in that you can make a lot of calls for both of these teams, but and it wasn't. If you look at the penalties, it wasn't as egregious as like one team got more than the other, I would say. But we all know that some of these penalties in certain moments in these games have a bigger weight to them than they do in certain aspects. So I think the last couple calls that they made, I think they said it was targeting and it was a rough in the pass. I think that was crazy. Homie hit him right on the mark as homie was throwing the ball. I don't know what else you expect him to do. Go low, you're gonna throw the flag anyway for him going low. The pass interference call, I think in the first half was, I think that what got them to a 2-touchdown lead in the first quarter. I thought that was egregious as well. So I really think ACC sent us their worst crew. I'm not saying everybody in the ACC is going to call plays like that, but man, that back judge in the back that's pretty much behind the safeties, overlooking. Yo, my brother, you were the worst one out of all of them, my brother. You were terrible with some of those calls, but I mean, at the end of the day, it does suck, for UNLV to lose a game in such a manner. I mean, I think some of the play calls in the overtime were a little bit questionable, but you kind of understand it to a degree. But look, man, yeah, I agree with you. They should have nothing to be ashamed about. They put on a great showing. I think everybody in Vegas should be proud of them. I mean, Syracuse fans, some of y'all can act better. Some UNLV fans can act better from what I saw at the end of the game, man. We don't need to, sit here and do a Padres Dodgers segment. We don't need that. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of motion to the game. I mean, it's healthy competition. So you tip your cap off to, Syracuse, man. They played a great game. They were able to come into a hostile environment. Again, shout out to everybody who showed out. The whole lower bowl was sold out. UNLV showed out. Syracuse fans showed out. Hopefully we can get more of that. Hopefully they can start opening up the top of the stadium so we can fill out the whole stadium for this UNLV team. Hey, look, it's not over, man. They lost one game, a close game to a tough 4-1 Syracuse team that is in the ACC. That is a really great team. You know what I mean? Yeah. But we still have more business ahead of us. We still have a chance to have a top bowl game. We got a big game coming up in a couple weeks with Boise State and one of the Heisman favorites because that boy is nasty. So it's look, that's going to be a true test. I expect this defense to play a lot better than what they did last week. But again, shout out to UNLV, man. Shout out to those boys, man. Y'all played a tough game. You guys gave us everything you guys could have, and I still think you guys should have won the game. But you tip your cap off, and let's get ready for next week, man. And let's keep this season going, man. We still have a lot to play for. So
yeah, for sure. All right, man.
Go ahead, man. Let's just get it over with your rant. I saw your tweet, bro. Just go ahead. I'm gonna lay back and go like this, my brother, and I'm gonna let you go with this Mizzou, man, because y'all boys got worked. It was a bad Saturday for you, Royals and stuff.
Listen, man. Outside of that bad pass interference call that they picked up the flag on. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, Missouri they weren't there. Everything that went right for Texas A&M went right. The ball just bounced their way. And look, Texas Station is hard to play in that stadium, as you can see. But they just looked like they were not prepared for this quarterback. And they said that, they thought the other quarterback was starting, the black dude. They ended up going with the Connor Wigman dude. And the Connor Wigman dude was just he was just working this dog. Like it was not even the running game. They was just killing us. Brady Cook looked like he was out of sorts. Luther Burden was losing his stuff on the sideline. He was pissed off after they called back the touchdown because of the illegal man downfield. Mm-hmm. And it just, Drink just didn't get him ready. The bye week, I don't know what happened in that bye week. You already saw that, prior to that, they had some tough games. I think it was one against Boston College, and the other one was against Vanderbilt, which, we find out Vanderbilt is like that, but they end up they just didn't show up, man. And look, shout out to Texas A&M, dog. Y'all real, man. Y'all real. Like the team is nice, but that defensive, they got a couple of defensive linemen that they're supposed. One of them, I think, is a top 5 pick
Yeah.
projected. I think it's Sturgis, Stanton, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's projected to be a top 5 pick. So, and it showed. Like our offensive line was getting smashed. We couldn't do nothing on offense. We couldn't get nothing going on offense. Brady Cook was inaccurate. He was off. He missed throws where dudes were open, and it was all bad, man. Even second half come out, they get a touchdown right off the bat. It was just bad, man. And we gotta go back to the drawing board, man. Just try to get a good bowl game, man. That's it.
So let me ask you before I go, what are your obviously your schedule's not done. You still got a couple. You still got a couple more tough games. You're starting to get in the meat of your schedule. So what's your confidence level of you guys being able to rally and still have a shot of making the 12-team playoff?
I don't know, man. Well, one thing I do want drink because it was like we didn't run the football at all.
Yeah.
We just threw. Like I get it. We got one of the best receivers in the nation. I get it. We got Luther Burden. You're gonna get the ball in the best player's hand. I get all that. But you gotta set it up a little bit. Be a little bit more balanced and run the football.
You think that's your biggest problem? You think that's the team's biggest problem? Is just the kind of like the you guys don't have
balance.
Yeah.
Well, because you got this kid Noel that you know what I'm saying he's really good running back. It's just like we got to use him.
Yeah.
It's just like be a little bit more balanced. Slow some of that down. Take some pressure off your defense. You see your defense is getting worked. Like take some pressure off your defense, man. Like slow it down a little bit. It was just like they was trying to, and I get it. The heat of the moment, the adrenaline rushing, you trying to get them points back fast. You know what I'm saying? And you can't get them back. But you sometimes you just got to take a step back, get some easy throws for Brady Cook, run the football, slow the game down. The crowd is already into it already.
Yeah.
And once that crowd gets into it, and it's not just Texas A&M, it's any hostile environment, whether you're playing LSU, Alabama, whoever.
Yeah.
They got a good crowd.
Yeah.
Once they get into it, you better have a great quarterback that can get you out of it.
So, nah, for real. Like,
and like we saw that night, and we will get into that game. But I'm just saying, they got to go back to the drawing board, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, man. Look, to me, this just makes the Notre Dame win in Texas A&M just more impressive. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that helps them in a sense of helping them trying to get into the 12-team playoff. But look, man, Mizzou had a lot of warning signs these last couple weeks leading into this game, where it was just like we both kind of were like we were both kind of like tiptoeing around it because it's like we see the talent on this team. But at the same time, we see a lot of these warning signs, and it's like we thought in our head, at least for me, I just thought it was like maybe it was just a competition. You know what I mean? Like the first week they looked really dominant. The second week they looked dominant, and then it was just like, all right, maybe the competition, maybe these cats are getting bored. These are young kids still playing, so maybe they did get bored, and they're just kind of waiting for this big game that's coming up. But my God, like this game was over by halftime, man. And you just knew, like you just saw it, like the confidence level was just gone. Even with that, I think it was a punt with that just bounced a particular way that I ain't never seen.
That's when I turned it off.
You know what I mean? It's just like, all right, y'all got it. You know what I mean? It's not our day. Shout out to Moss on Texas A&M. He had 12 carries, 138, 2 TDs, man. He balled out. Burden tried, and then there was a lot of shit talking going into this game. I think I saw somewhere one of the cornerbacks of Texas A&M.
No, that wasn't the cornerback. Eli Drinkwich did that to motivate.
He did that.
Our head coach.
Oh, my bad.
To motivate our wide receiver.
Oh, okay. Well, I took it as I thought it was like maybe some corner, because that's why I took it. But now that your coach did that, he didn't help the case at all because your receivers did get blanketed, bro, for real. So, look, man, Mizzou, like It's not going to look good for the playoffs. I don't know where they dropped down to in the new AP poll,
21.
but they're down to 21. Okay, so like you got UMass coming up, and then you got Auburn, which will be a tough game. Auburn has been playing a lot better as the season has gone. Don't get dismissed by their record. And then obviously you got Bama and then Oklahoma at the end of the month and the beginning of November. So look, man, these next 4 games are going to kind of tell us a lot about how much mental fortitude this team has, and if this coach can steer them into the right direction. Like, it was an ugly loss, but I think they still have a small chance, especially how crazy this week was. Look, if it's already crazy this week, I can only imagine how the next couple weeks are going to go. There's still a lot of big games to be played. 21 is still not a bad position to be in with a lot of those teams that they do already have 1 losses. So like, they're not out of it, but they got to handle their business. Like, they got to dominate UMass, they got to dominate Auburn, they got to beat Alabama, and then they need to go in and dominate Oklahoma if they can. Like, they need to have some impressive wins for them to have a chance to get back into the 12 team. But it's not all lost though. It's not all lost.
Yeah, I agree. But it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good.
Right.
Brady Cook, you gotta throw the football better, dog.
True.
Can't be that inaccurate, man. And that's the book out on him, is that he don't throw the
Accuracy.
football. His accuracy is terrible.
Yeah.
Go ahead, SMU, Louisville.
Oh yeah. I'm at SMU Louisville. Let me pull up the score on that one real quick. Shit.
Bad, my thing was on hook. But SMU end up beating number 22 Louisville 34-27. Kevin Jennings was 21 of 27, 281 yards. He also had 10 carries, 113 yards, and a touchdown. The RJ Maryland had 6 catches, 83 yards. And Keyshawn Smith had 4 catches, 53 yards, and a touchdown. It was all about SMU's quarterback. Man, he was balling. They could do nothing with him. So, SMU they had an impressive win last week too, didn't they? Didn't they beat somebody ranked last week or somebody like that?
Yeah, I think they beat who did they beat? I want to say it was who did they beat? I know who they beat, somebody, because they dominated the hell out of them. Let me pull it up real quick. SMU schedule.
They had a dominating win last week for sure.
They beat. Well, it really wasn't a big, like, it was a team that we all expected to be good. It was Florida State. They dominated Florida State, but Florida State is pretty bad. They had a close one with BYU. They had a close one. They lost 18-15. So
okay, but pretty much, they was pretty much in control in the beginning of this game.
Yeah.
Louisville tried to climb back, but it was just too much for them. And shout out to SMU, man. They did their thing, dog.
Nah, yeah, man, for real, man. Jennings, he had 281, 21 for 27, as you kind of said. He ran the ball pretty well, got the TD. He had 113 yards as well. Look, man, it's officially the end of Louisville's chances of making it to a 12-team playoff. We expected a big game, out of Louisville and Miami, but now it's look. I know Louisville will probably be a tough opponent for Miami, regardless of what their record is. But it's not a good look. It's not helping Miami's schedule at all either. I would say it's going to make it where to the point where it's like you don't want Miami, having a loss going into that game. You kind of want them to be undefeated, and you want to see them win, because after that, their next big game will probably be the ACC title game against. We all assume it will be Clemson, and how amazing Clemson is looking. That's going to be a big one. So for Miami, you want to have any kind of wiggle room. Like, at least with the 12-team playoff, you do have wiggle room. You can't afford a loss depending on how you lose and who you lose to. So I think a loss to Clemson, not saying they would lose that game in the championship game, but if you are going to lose to anybody, you would rather lose to Clemson in a close game it still would look good on your record. By that time, I'm assuming Clemson will be a top 12 team the way they've been looking. So, that's something to look forward to. But overall, man, it's over for Louisville and their hopes of making a 12-team playoff. I think they just have to look forward to maybe trying to steal a couple wins and maybe have a chance to play for their conference championship.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not gonna really get too deep into this game, but number 5 Georgia beats Auburn 31-3.
Nice
We
bounce back.
Yeah, they needed this win. It was a good comeback win after the loss against Alabama.
Mhm.
Carson Beck had a decent day, over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But they didn't really need too much to
Mhm.
beat that team. So
Yeah.
yeah, Georgia wins that game. Also, Ole Miss bounced back, beating South Carolina 27-3. Daxon Hart had a pretty decent day too.
I was
Um,
impressed. I was impressed by them. I was impressed by the way they responded going into South Carolina. I expected this game to be a little bit tougher than what it was, and the way they responded, the dominant fashion that they responded in, I think that shows a lot for Ole Miss. So it's a
mhm.
really good look for them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. They handle business after coming off of a disappointing loss to Kentucky.
Hmm.
But hey, man, shout out to them for coming back and
Yep.
doing what they're supposed to do.
Yep.
But let's talk about it, man. Number 1 Alabama
Hmm.
goes against Vanderbilt. Skip Bayless's alma mater. He was all on Twitter acting damn fool. Uh, Jalen Milroe was 18-24, 310 yards, a touchdown, and an INT. Um, Jam Miller had 5 carries, 45 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Ryan Williams had 3 catches for 82 yards and a touchdown, and Bernard had 3 catches and 70 yards. Diego Pavia, quarterback for Vanderbilt, 16-20, 252 yards, 2 touchdowns. Um, Also, he had 20 carries and 20 carries for a quarterback. It's crazy. 56 yards. And then the running back, Cedric Anderson, had, hold on. He had 21 carries, 64 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Eli Stores had 6 catches, 113 yards. Um, I give it to Vanderbilt, man. They came out blazing.
Yeah.
They
Hmm.
scored. Then they get an interception. They score again. Alabama ends up scoring. Then they score. They get a field goal. Then Alabama, is down. They're down 14-23 going into the half. Then they score coming out of the half. It's 21-23. Then Vanderbilt ended scoring, making it 30-21. Then Alabama scores, making it 28-30. Then it was a crucial fumble by Alabama that sealed their fate. And Vanderbilt ended up scoring, making it 40-28. Alabama scores, but unfortunately, it was too late, and Vanderbilt ended up running out the clock, 40-35. Shout out to Vanderbilt, man. They was hyping that thing. Their crowd was crazy. We always looked at Vanderbilt as the SEC uh, kind of pushover.
Hmm.
Everybody steps on them. That was a
Homecoming game.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
That was a guaranteed win for any
Right.
SEC team that played them.
Right.
But they look like they're actually pretty decent. I know I was hearing things about this quarterback that they got in the transfer portal that was really good, and they got some players over there. So, hey man, and this is one of those things where Alabama coming off of a big game against Georgia. How are they going to respond after putting all that energy into a big SEC game, a rivalry in Georgia, and then got to go on the road and face a Vanderbilt team that you kind of might be even looking over a little bit because you
Yeah.
you so used to beating them, man. Shout out to Vanderbilt. They punched him in the mouth and kept punching him, and they end up winning the game. So
No, I agree with you. Shout out to Vandy. They played a really, really great game, and they were able to jump on Alabama pretty quick and hold on to that lead. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, you see most teams like that, they'll end up losing it in that third quarter, and then it just becomes rampant. But they were able to hold their own coming out of the second half and continue to put pressure on Alabama, and it was just too much for Alabama to overcome. Um, Malachi Moore, my brother, you need a lot of maturity, my man.
mhm.
The way you was acting at the end of the game, throwing your mouthpiece and as the referees replacing the ball, kicking the ball. It was funny, but bro, you gotta show some. I don't know if I think he might even be the captain, one of the captains of the
And
team. I think.
hold on, not to cut you off, Malachi.
Yeah.
I saw you give up that touchdown. You got beat on one of them plays on them touchdowns, brother. You should be
Yeah.
throwing your mouthpiece because you gave up a touchdown, sir.
Absolutely, absolutely. And look, I don't know what's going. I'm not going to sit here and say what's going on in my man's head. He could have been frustrated at himself, and he just expressed it the wrong way. But at the end of the day, it's not a good look, and it's not a good look for DeBoer. For it looks like his team is not in control. Having a loss like that is not a good look. Now, I'm not going to be on this one of these overreaction type of people where, oh man, DeBoer, he's in over his head. He's not Nick Saban. People should consider him being fired at the end of the year if they can't get to the 12th team. Like, chill. DeBoer is a really great head coach. He has a great track record. I think that will be fine. Is it a very bad loss? Yes. You lost to a team that lost to Georgia Southern. That's not a good look. You know what I mean? As you are the number one team. I get it. You're coming off that high of beating Georgia, which, you guys almost choked that off. So it would have been even worse if you lost both of these games. But you guys were able to win that game. But look, man, I think this team needs some maturity. I think this team needs to relax. And DeBoer needs to get in under control. Like, yes, he is not Nick Saban. No one is ever going to be Nick Saban. It'll be really, really hard to reestablish what he was able to accomplish in Alabama. It's just going to be tough. Is Alabama? Do they have the same allure like they used to? Probably not. As far as like under Nick Saban, they probably not. But they're still a dominant team. Milroy didn't have a bad game. He did have some turnovers that didn't really help. Fumble and the interception. But the Alabama schedule is tough, man. You know what I mean? They got South Carolina coming up next week. Then you go from South Carolina to Tennessee. You're at Tennessee, which we all know that's going to be one of the games of the year right there. Then from Tennessee, you go back home to play Missouri, which I'm sure they're going to be remotivated and they're gonna put their best foot forward and play a better game than what they showed. And then after that, you go to LSU, which I'm assuming will probably be a night game. And we all know how tough it is to play at Death Valley at night. And then in a couple weeks after that, you got Oklahoma. And then obviously you finish off the year with Alabama. And then if you have a chance to make the SEC title game, then you still have that, which more than likely will probably be against Georgia, the rematch, which they're going to want their lick back after what you guys did to them. Mm-hmm. So this loss, as I said, they're not out of it, but this loss could be very detrimental to them in having a chance to make the 12-team playoff. Now, am I like everybody else who assumes that this is the SEC Invitational and that even if they had 3 losses, they will find a way to put Bama in this game? Yes, I probably believe that. Will they deserve it if they lose 3 games? Hell no. But we all know what it is, though. But I mean, it's not a good look. But they have plenty of games to bounce back in. I think this does hurt Milroy's case in the Heisman. I think it does. It's not really good, but he does have a chance to get his name back into that.
Yeah, for sure. Tennessee ends up losing to or number 4 Tennessee ends up losing to Arkansas 19-14. This was a defensive struggle on both sides. Tennessee couldn't really get nothing going offensively, but they ended up taking the lead. They were up 14-10, and then they got up 14-13. But then in the fourth quarter, Arkansas ended up getting a late touchdown, making it 19-14. Tennessee had a chance to win the game, but unfortunately they ran out of time. They weren't able to get into the end zone, and Arkansas ended up beating them, man. Shout out to Arkansas. Their defense really put the clamps on this Tennessee offense. And, it's funny because I was talking to Stan. I was telling him about this offense, Tennessee turning out, and then they leg on me.
Yeah. I know. I get it, man. I was a little surprised on the way Tennessee lost this game. I get it. They still have a young quarterback, so he is going to learn. But I think Tennessee will be fine. They do have big games coming up. They do play Georgia, I think, towards the end of the year. So that'll be a really huge game as well. Their schedule is tough, but I do expect this team to learn a lot from this loss. It was surprising, but I don't think it was too bad. Arkansas has been playing pretty well the last couple weeks. I think Tennessee will be all right.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I agree. Uh Michigan, number 10, Michigan ended up losing to Washington 27 to
Hmm.
17.
Hmm.
Um, let's just get into it, man. Michigan's quarterback situation is horrible.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
bad.
It's always like that though. Honestly, like even when they had your boy last year, like
McCarthy, but at
McCarthy,
least,
like he
but we
was
both said it. At least when McCarthy needed to make a big throw,
he can he could he
he
could
made a
yeah,
big throw down
very
the
good.
field. This guy, Orgy, and even
Hmm.
the Tuttle kid, like it's a mess. You know, their running backs are really good.
Hmm.
Mullins and Edwards, they're going to be playing on Sundays,
Hmm.
but yeah, their quarterback is the death of them is going to be the detriment to their season, and while they're not going to make the 12 tournament.
No, 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 they're not. They're not. They're not. Like I agree with you. It sucks because you're wasting this defense away. Like Org, we all knew like he was more of a running quarterback more so than a thrower. And then the other guy, let's not even go in there. Look, man, I'm not surprised by this loss at all. I thought Michigan. I said it last week. I think this is one of the games to just keep your eye on, just to see the score at the end. I'm not surprised Washington was able to win this 27-17 game. We all knew that Michigan need to keep any opponent that they have 20 points and under for them to have a shot. And so and behold, Washington was able to put 27 up. Rogers was 21 to 31, 271, two TDs. It's tough to go on the road in college, man. And Washington's environment is a really tough environment to go. It's one of the top environments to to that in college in the college nation. Period. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is with Michigan. I mean, there's not really much to say going forward. It's just they're gonna struggle. They're gonna need to win low scoring games. The running game needs to be the main point. The running game and their defense need to be the main reasons why they win these games. You know what I mean? Their O line and D line are still really good. It's just that Michigan has always been known not they've always been known to not have a top flight receiver since Jim Harbaugh days. Like back in the day, I mean, they had the Braylon Edwards. You know what I'm saying? You had cats like that who could add some offense, but they haven't had that in a long time. I think this is a time where Michigan needs to reevaluate. Like, yeah, still keep the dogs. Like, yeah, you guys are one of the best recruiters as far as like O line and D line. Keep that going because you guys will always be at top of there. But they might need to start looking more towards the quarterback and receiver part of these recruiting pitches because that's how you're going to win the games now. Like, let's be honest, man. We see all the top teams, the Georgias, the Oregons, the Ohio States. They all have receiving talent. You need that. So they need to keep what they're going with the O line and D line, but they're going to have to focus a lot more on the quarterback play and receiver play if they want to be able to take their program to the next level of consistency of being in championship conversations.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. It's get it together. That's all I got to say. Get it together at quarterback.
Oh Lord, is that be the coach? Man, y'all gotta get it together, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
Get it together, man.
Get it together, bro. I'll see y'all Tuesday.
Find you a quarterback or something, because whoo, it's all bad.
Yeah.
You number 11 USC end up losing 24-17 to Minnesota.
Yeah.
This game was about defense, and that was Minnesota's defense. They got 2 picks off of Miller Moss.
Yeah.
One of them in the end zone. I saw.
Yeah.
That kind of just took the sting out of USC scoring. And their running game because Darius Taylor had 25 carries, 144 yards. Like, he was running all over them. So it was not a good day at the office for USC. They just couldn't get nothing going offensively. But shout out to Minnesota. Minnesota usually has a pretty good defense. It's just their offense ain't that good. But
right.
But shout out to them. They got the dub, and USC, man, another they underachieved. They ain't show up.
Yeah, it's another disappointing season for USC fans. Look, man, they just can't get it together. Like you finally have a decent defense, but now your offense is really inconsistent. You know what I mean? So, and that's something you don't hear from a Lincoln Riley offense. Usually they pretty consistent in scoring like the high 20s to 30 points. They were only able to go score 17. Even in the Wisconsin game, yeah, I know they were able to score 34, but that first half was even a struggle for them. You know what I'm saying? So. Look, man, USC, like Lincoln Riley gonna have to figure it out, man. Like he finally has a defensive coordinator, so hopefully they can get on the offensive side. Miller Moss, what is he like what is he, a sophomore or something?
I think so.
Sophomore. So
He
like
might be
obviously he might be a junior. Like I don't know how many reps he's got. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know how in depth I am on Moss and how much play time he's gotten. But maybe I'm assuming he ain't going in the draft next year. So even if he is a junior, I expect him to be back. I still expect him to be better. So this might not be USC's year, but maybe next year get some more talent in there. Maybe get a little bit more receiver help and all that. Keep that defense the way it is. Maybe add some more pieces to that defensive line, cornerback play that could help out, and they might be able to have a real solid chance next year to compete for a championship. But obviously, it's kind of over for them. It's just kind of more of a development year, and just see if they can get a really good bowl game.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Number 21, Boise State ended up being Utah State 62-30. The only
Yeah.
reason why I'm highlighting this game is because Ashton Genty, he
Mm-hmm.
had 13 carries, 186 yards, and 3 touchdowns, which is adding to his Heisman case. We're going to talk about who we feel are in the Heisman race right in a
Yeah.
minute. But just to make a case for this kid is amazing. Like
Right.
and UNLV stack 8 in the box, man.
That's all you got to do, boy.
Stack 11 in the
Stack
box.
eight, bro.
You might stack the
Stack
whole
eight.
team
Don't
in the
worry about
box.
them. Don't worry about them receivers, boy. Just worry about him, man.
And don't get it twisted.
Man.
The quarterback wasn't bad. 21 to 25,
Yeah.
256, and 3 touchdowns. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Yeah.
not like he was like 85 yards and a couple touchdowns.
On me.
The
Yeah.
quarterback is decent too, but I'm just saying they go as Ashton goes.
Nah. Yeah.
So, but no, shout out to this kid, man. I had to highlight him because he deserves it. He's having an amazing year, and we'll talk about the Heisman. I'll get more in depth into him, but shout out to Boise State. They're definitely a threat in the Mountain West for sure.
He got a little Ricky in him though, man. I see a little Ricky Williams in him, man. Ricky was what 5'10". What is he like two something? He's two something. You know what I mean? You saw the power and the speed with Ricky. You know what I'm saying? He was one of the best college running backs of all time. So I see a little bit of that in him. I'm not saying he is Ricky. Like he's putting up amazing stats, bro. This guy is really special. He's definitely going to be we were kind of talking about the running backs a little bit as far as like in the draft next year. He's definitely going to be the top running back coming out next year in the draft. Sure. And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody tries to treat him like a Bijan Robinson and be a top 10 pick. I would not be surprised if he deserves it. You know what I mean? This kid is special. UNLV, man. I'm gonna let you know. Like you guys, and honestly, UNLV's run defense is actually pretty decent. It's not bad. Like they can stop the run. Like they were able to stop the run on Syracuse minus a couple plays, but for the majority of it, you know what I mean, minus the overtime, they were locking them up. So I'm very curious to see how that goes, and we got a couple weeks to get into that. So I'm not gonna go too ahead. I just tip my cat off to them. They have a really legitimate chance to make the playoffs. They're one of the teams that have a shot. That UNLV Boise State game is going to be huge for both teams. But even more so for Boise State. Like you never know with UNLV. I don't think they have a chance to make the 12-team playoff, but you never know. We got to see how the rest of the season goes. But overall, shout out to him, man. He's definitely one of the Heisman favorites going into the last part of the season.
I just want UNLV to make a decent bowl game, dog.
Yeah, take our steps. Like last year. I know we're getting off the Boise State thing, but last year they were able to finish off the year really well. They started off slow, finished off the year. So it seemed like, all right, cool, promising. We start off the year ablaze. And then I still think I'll personally say we got screwed out of the Syracuse game. I still believe we should be undefeated. I still think we should be ranked. And I think we should have been ranked a couple weeks before we were even ranked officially. But that's my story. But look, man, if we can finish the year off with 1-2 losses, I think that's an amazing feat for UNLV as
Mhm.
far as the steps that we're taking to become a legitimate program that will be respected every year when we start. You know what I mean? Maybe we can be one of those teams that are going to be, I'm not saying we're going to be in the top 10, but maybe we can be in the top 20 to start the year. Maybe the top 15, and we can just keep adding on talent and talent and talent. And some of these kids and recruits, we can get our NIL money together. We can start actually, paying some players. I did see a report flash on my phone saying that the court it has approved of colleges actually paying their players now, in like a $2.93 billion lawsuit. So I think that could be a positive sign for UNLV. We have the facilities, we have the beautiful stadium and Allegiant, we have the fan base. It's there. Obviously, Vegas is a little finicky sometimes. Like they don't want to give too much too fast, but you as Vegas citizens, we got to support this team if we want this team to be successful. And that's a fact. So go to these games and all that. I'm very proud of this team. Hopefully they can finish the year strong, even if it's with one more loss or whatever. Get a nice bowl game. Put UNLV's logo on a big time map. Maybe we can play. Maybe we can play one of these teams. You know what I mean? That like maybe we could play a USC or something in like one of these big time New Year's Six bowl games and stuff like that. And we can show we can play with this squad, and then it can bring excitement to this program, and recruits may want to come here. Some of the top, maybe we can start getting more 5-star recruits and stuff like that. Hopefully we can keep Barry Odom. Hopefully we can keep our OC, and we can just keep this going.
Yeah, for sure. Clemson, number 15, Clemson ended up beating Florida State 29-13. Look, man, we gotta start putting some respect on Dabo Swinney's name, man. We dumped on the whole clip on that man after week one, and all he done is won since.
Yeah,
then.
but we gotta see them. Obviously, look,
Yeah, I
I think
understand.
I think Clemson is gonna make the 12-team playoff. I think Kubik, I think it's a Klubik or whatever his name is,
Yeah,
quarterback.
yeah,
He's playing better. The defense is playing solid. But I gotta see them play against top tier talent. Anytime Clemson plays like a top 5 team, they get smoked. They're not going to play any great team probably until the ACC championship game, when they'll probably play Miami, and then we'll probably get a good scene if they're going to be legit or not. And then we still have to see them play against Georgia again, Alabama, if they make it, or Oregon, Ohio State, or Tennessee. Are they up there with that? Talent wise, they should be, but I'm not going to sit here like, yeah, Dabo has got them to play a lot better, but I still got to see more.
they got some games in November that's interesting. That Virginia Tech game is going to be interesting.
The probably toughest one is probably Pittsburgh, probably.
It is Pittsburgh, but don't sleep on Virginia Tech. They gave Miami everything they could.
All right, bro.
What you mean?
All right, bro.
You ain't feeling it. You ain't feeling it.
No, sir. No, sir. I gotta see it to believe it.
All right. We had ACC after dark, man. Miami traveling to
I know.
Cal.
Shout out to Reese Davis, bro, for doing the 24-hour work cycle, bro.
Mhm.
His voice was at the end of the peak. You know what I mean? So shout out to
Shout
him.
out to Marshawn Lynch. He was on college football
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they were in Cal. He's a
Mm-hmm.
former Cal. Was it Bearcats? What do they call them? I think. I don't know.
Yeah, California Bears. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, Golden Bears. Golden Bears.
Golden Bears, something like that. But Miami travels. Cam Ward, a top Heisman Trophy candidate,
Mm-hmm.
top prospect coming out of the draft. Everybody's looking at Cam. I think he leads the FBC in touchdown passes.
I think so. Yeah.
Uh, look, man, they were right about this Cal defense. Don't let this score fool y'all. This Cal defense is for real. That defensive line was all on Cam's ass.
Mhm.
Them corners was sticky. They was blocking key on these wide receivers into the second half. But still, they had to climb. This was another tough one for Miami, and we're seeing with the competition that Miami was just rolling over these cupcakes. Now they starting to get a little bit more in the meat and potatoes of their schedule. They got some dog fights out here. And they ain't just rolling over teams. And in this game, it was looking kind of grim for Miami. I thought, I was like, oh no. It ain't looking good for Mr. Cam Ward. He might have
Mhm.
lost his Heisman Trophy hopes in this game because But one thing I will give Cam Ward is this, and I said this about Hodge Malik Williams. Cam don't get high, he don't get low. He just plays football, man.
Mhm.
Regardless of the situation, if they winning, he stays the same. If they losing, he stays the same. You don't see him on the sideline with his head drooped, towel over his head. You don't see him on the sideline cussing out coaches and cussing players out. You don't never see Cam do none of that. Cam
Yeah.
just takes it one play at a time. All right, we'll get him on the next, and that's how he plays, man. And he just finds himself, just like in the Virginia, he just finds his way back into the game, and Miami just finds a way to win. And
Yeah.
that's how this game went. Because for the majority of the game, Cal controlled this game.
Yeah.
They had
Nah.
control. They controlled this game. They was winning in the trenches. They was beating up that offensive line. That
Mhm.
offensive line was getting bullied by Cal.
Mhm.
But in that second half, they just kept chipping away at that lead. And Cam, did enough to win the game. And they got that pick at the end on their quarterback. And shout out to Miami, man. They won the game.
Nah, like we're getting to the dog days of the season where it's like, all right, man, like some of the teams that we expect to dominate certain teams, like it doesn't happen. To me, this just makes my eyebrows rise. And how did Cal lose against Florida State? How did they lose against
That's
Florida
what
State at
I
all?
said.
Like, because I think Cal should be way more respected. As you said, that defense is really good. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? So, I think that was probably a big surprise on them losing that game. So, look, man, Miami, I think does nothing but look. We're able to get this win on the road. It was a tough game. I think that's a good sign that they're able to win these games. These games where it's just like, all right, like nothing's going our way. We got to figure it out. And Cam Ward and the rest of that squad was able to find a really great win, able to come back in the fourth quarter. I think that says a lot about their character and who they are as a team. And I think that should, if you're a Miami Hurricanes fan, I don't think you should be dismayed at all. I think you should be encouraged. Like, okay, our team is some dogs, and like they're not going to run away from the fight. They're going to fight their way back if they're down by 7 or 20 points. They're gonna try to fight their way to come back, and you have the offensive pieces to be able to come back if you're down 14 plus points. You know what I mean? Cam Ward is special, so I don't think this hurt Cam Ward at all. I think this should help him at all,
No,
or
of
at
course.
least keep him stable in the conversation. Is being one of the top recipients of a Heisman Trophy. So man, I think Miami should be able to hold out their head high and be like, look, man, we're able to squeeze out a close one. So let's move on to the next one. The dub is a dub, and we're still in the top 7, top 6. Depending on how I'm not sure where they're at in a new AP right now, but
I think they're number 5 now.
there you go. So now you're in the top 5. So I think this does nothing but I think should give them more confidence in them making the 12-team playoff.
Yeah, for sure, man. I agree with you, man. Like it just shows they're resilient. Look, you're gonna be in hostile, and you get in that 12-team tournament. You're gonna be in hostile environments where the crowd
Oh
they might
yeah,
not be on your side. They're gonna be screaming
absolutely.
and yelling, and you know what I'm saying. Not to say that Miami doesn't travel, but the other team that you face might have more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's gonna be hostile environments, man, and you got to be able to withstand it, and they've done that.
They want to see the top go down. Everybody wants to see Goliath go down. So you're one of the Goliaths. You're a top 5 team right now, top 10 team easily. So like any school that you go visit, they want to see the loss. So it's gonna be rabid wherever you go. So I said, shout out to Miami and shout out to Cal for at least putting on a great effort to try to win that game.
All right, so after this weekend, after we saw the craziness with this weekend, I want to get your top 4 Heisman candidates right now.
So right now, I got 1A, 1B with Genty and Hunter. I think those two should be at the top right now. I know Genty has looked amazing, but what Hunter is doing on both sides of the ball is literally on the same tier as what Genty is doing as a running back, purely doing running back skills. So I think that should be 1A, 1B. No matter, I don't care if you want to have Genty 1, Hunter 1, 1A or 1B. I don't care how you have it. Those two should be clear cut ahead of anybody else. Number 3, I got Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward should be number 3. I don't think anything should have affected him. And then number 5, I got Shador, man. I think Shador should get more love for what he's doing, especially behind that offensive line. They were able to, go into a hostile territory in UCF that everybody predicted to have a really good shot at making a 12-team playoff with KJ Jefferson as a quarterback, and they went in there and they dominated. That's another team. Hey, don't sleep on Colorado for having a chance, having a slight chance to make that 12 team. I'm telling you, bro. If they can find a way to win out, I'm just saying, man, don't sleep. Do not sleep, and especially in that Big Ten. Let's say if they're able to, meet up with Iowa State or something, and get that dub, I think it'd be huge. So don't sleep. But I got Shador number 4. Outside looking in right now, I got Milroy. I think Dart still has a chance the way they were able to bounce back, and obviously Beck from Georgia. So, but that's my top 4.
Ours is pretty much the same. I actually have Cam Ward number 2 because I just feel like as a quarterback, you affect the game a little bit more. Travis, don't get it twisted. I like Travis. I think Travis, if you have Travis number 2, I'm not going to sit up in an argument and say you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, he does affect the game, both sides of the football. But I just think Cam affects it just a little bit more because he's a quarterback. And number 4, I got Shador Sanders, too. I think Shador should be right there, too. I think Cam Ward and Shador Sanders are the best quarterbacks in the nation right now, over Jalen Milroe, over Dart,
Easy.
over Carson Beck, all of
Easy.
them. Because if we put Shador Sanders on any of them big time schools,
they're undefeated.
I think it's a whole different talk.
They're undefeated. You put Shador on Bama. You think they losing that game to Vanderbilt? No way. They win by 50, easy. Light work. Ryan Williams, boy, he might be also considered for a Heisman because Shador Sanders is throwing them. Imagine if Deion was at Bama and he brought Travis Hunter and Shador with him to Bama. Oh my God. Oh my God. You add Shador and Travis to any team in the SEC. It's a totally different look.
Yeah, I agree for sure. All right, man. Let's talk about the WNBA, man.
Yeah,
man. Unfortunately, the Aces lost yesterday, y'all.
Yeah, I saw some haters on there celebrating the loss too. I saw that shit.
The Aces lost to the Liberty 76-62.
Yeah.
It just looked like they were, it was kind of flat yesterday, you know what I'm saying? I just think Liberty wanted it more. I just think Liberty remembered last year and they came out with a vengeance, and it's hard to three-peat, man. It's hard. It is, man. And maybe they need to, add some stuff, to this Aces team, lose some players, add some other players, add some positions. I know I saw you on X saying that they need to add some more bigs to help out Agent Wilson. Maybe that's what they need, or, what's her name? Kia Stokes.
Yeah, get Kia Stokes out of here, bro.
That, or she needs to, get in that gym, girl. But yeah, man. Shout out to the Liberty, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionesco. They balled out, man. And they're on to the next championship.
Nah, yeah, man. Look, man. Shout out to the Liberty, man. I think. Look, like Jackie Young hit a big half-court 3 to give them a 53-52 lead going into the fourth quarter. And look, Sabrina Ionescu, she was the difference in this whole series compared to what she did last year. I think last year she only averaged like 8 points. I think this series she's averaged like 20 plus. Sabrina was the main reason why they were winning. They won this game. You know what I mean? She took over the fourth quarter. She dominated. So all you can do is just tip your hat off to them. They were the better team. They were the better team all year. So we were all hoping that maybe the Aces were able to. It looked like they were waking up and becoming, getting back into form with Chelsea Young, getting healthy and all that. But it was just too much. As far as with the Aces, though, yeah, they're gonna have to look at this. They're gonna have to look at this roster. Obviously, Chelsea. She is getting older. Injuries might become more prone. She has had an injury history, especially back in her Duke days. So I'm gonna be kind of interested. I think she still has some years left on her contract. I think she might have just signed, so she's probably gonna stay. Obviously, you got Kelsey Plum. I think she's probably our biggest free agent going into the offseason. So I would expect her to stay. Kelsey Plum has been one of our best offensive players that has helped alleviate a lot of that pressure off of Asia on the offensive side. As I said, the big key for me with this Aces team is, number one, they got to get away from all the drama and problems that they had all year, especially with the De'Erica Hamby stuff, and like get away from all that noise. Let's try to recalibrate this team and get back into refocusing. Obviously, 3-peating is really tough. I'm sure you see with your team, with the Kansas City Chiefs, they're trying to go through it the same way. Obviously they're 4-0 right now, but they got their problems that I'm sure we're going to talk about going in. They got the big game tonight against the New Orleans Saints at home, so we'll get into that later. But back to the Aces, though, man. Big. The inside is key for me. Center position is key. Kia Stokes, like, girl, I love you. I appreciate everything you've done for the Aces, but my God, you gave us nothing at all. Like, you were pretty much like Rudy Gobert in the playoffs. Like, there's nothing you can do for us to help. So we got to sit you on the bench. But we can't do it because we don't have any other bigs to help Asia on the glass. Like, we pretty much got out rebounded. The penetration from their guards was just too easy, way too easy. And Asia can only do so much. She had 5 blocks yesterday. So if they can go out and get some help, hopefully they can get old girl from the Dallas Wings. You know what I mean? I can't even say her name, Sabali or whatever. Maybe she can help out. She's a big rebounder. Hopefully we can get something going on that inside, man. Help, maybe even get Brittany Griner's big ass and to the Aces or something. Do something, because Asia needs help, dog. She needs help, and I expect all these players to come back, refocus next year. But shout out to all those ladies, man. You guys were 2-time champions. I'm not gonna go harp too bad. I expect majority of this team to come back. I expect Jackie Young to come back better next year. I expect Chelsea. I expect Kelsey, and we all know Asia we all know she's gonna go for another MVP again. So shout out to the Aces for a great season, man, and hopefully those ladies get some rest and enjoy their off time.
Yeah, I agree, but if I'm the LA Sparks, I'm talking to Kelsey Plum to come over.
Oh yeah, Kelsey's gonna get a lot of love. Like, don't get it wrong. Like, Kelsey, like, look, if we lose Kelsey, like, they're gonna have to make some wholesale. I wouldn't say wholesale changes, but they're gonna have to add another piece. But I was like, look, if we lose Kelsey, you know who the Aces should go? Still Kelsey Mitchell from the goddamn Fever, and then we're gonna really see if Caitlin Clark was the real reason why they made that playoffs. Because we all know if it wasn't for Kelsey Mitchell's ass, she was the main reason why y'all got to the goddamn playoffs. And Aaliyah Boston, but y'all don't want to say it because y'all think it was Caitlin Clark that did. Look at the numbers. Kelsey Mitchell was honestly their best offensive player this year. So if we lose Kelsey, get the other Kelsey Mitchell, get the other Kelsey Mitchell from the Fever, sign her, and we'll be all good. Because Kelsey Mitchell, she nice, she like that.
Yeah,
I got answers to it all, baby. Like, come on, come with it, Caitlin Clark fans. I'm ready. Love.
Oh, we have somebody on here saying that Cam Ward is good. Yes, he is.
Cam Ward is good. Cam Ward is really good. Top 2 pick. I still think Shedeur Sanders is the number 1 quarterback in the draft. Cam Ward's 2, but Shedeur is special. So is Cam, but I think Shedeur is special, bro. And he want to come to the Raiders, so make it happen, Raiders. Make it happen. Do not let me down, because if we do not get Shedeur Sanders, my God, you do not want to hear from me next year. I swear to God.
If y'all get Cam Ward,
I'll be cool. I'll either Shedeur Cam. I'm Gucci. I need one of them too, but we all know Shedeur Sanders wants to come to the goddamn Raiders. So make it happen. We'll get to it. Like, I'll get to my Raiders rant here in a little bit. I ain't gonna go too long right now, but make it happen.
Are we gonna get another rant? I thought you were used to this, but okay.
No. Not a rant. Not, I want to say rant. I want to go that rant. I'm just a conversation.
All right, for sure. Let's do our better short 5 picks, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? No. My bad.
We got to talk about the Kinetic Sun.
The Lynx and the Sun. Sun ended up beating the Lynx 92-82. Series is tied up. What you thinking, man? Who gonna win it? Who gonna take it?
Oh, this is gonna be tough, man, because Collier, she had a really good game. She had 29 points, 13 rebounds. I just think the combination of Elisa Thomas and how many dogs they got on the Connecticut Sun, I think they're going to find a way, man. I really do. I really think that the Connecticut Sun are going to find a way to steal this series. with Bonner, Lisa Thomas, Yo Girl, Maber. I think they got some real dogs on that squad that they ain't scared. They're gonna fight it through. So I'm gonna go with them. And then I think they've been battle tested more so than the Lynx have. I think the Lynx have a lot of talent. And they're going to be around for a minute. I wouldn't be surprised if they would be the favorites next year, low key. But
Oh, the Lynx.
the Lynx, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they were the favorites. But I think the Connecticut Sun is going to win that, and I think we're going to get an amazing series with the Liberty and the Connecticut Sun. You get that East Coast battle. East Coast. I don't know if they're rivals, but it could start a rivalry over there. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Connecticut Sun. Who you got?
I'm going with the Lynx, man. The Fisher Caller. You know what I'm saying? She gonna dominate. I got her. I got them winning.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I got them winning. All right, man. Let's do our better short five picks. All right, man. What you got, man? What you
All
got?
right, man. So I'm gonna do the three. I know. One of the games already started. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take the Tigers money line. I think they'll find a way to win against the Guardians. Tie that up 1-1. Then I'm gonna go with the Royals money line tonight, and then I'm gonna take the Saints +5 against your Chiefs. Now your Chiefs might win, but they can't. The game gonna be close, bro. I'm taking the close, or I'm taking the under in the second half of a Kansas City Chiefs game because I think that's hit so many times the last couple years, last 2 years. So it's 1-2. So I'm those are my bets for this week.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. This damn team. Anyway, I'm gonna take the Royals on the money line. Also,
Mm-hmm.
I'm also taking the -4.5 for the Lynx.
Okay.
I'm taking my Chiefs uh money line. I'm on my showtime. So I'm taking the money line. I ain't taking the points. I'm taking the money line.
Say you on your Showtime today. I feel you. I feel you. Shout out to show.
Yeah, man. I'm doing the money line. If you go to our social media platforms, you'll see the link for the Bet US website. First time users, go there, sign up, put in the promo code JOIN125. You get 125% sign in bonus. That's 3 risk free bets. What does that mean, Chris? That your first $300 deposit, it's a minimum of $100 up to 5,000. Yeah. But if you bet minimum of $100, your first 3 deposits, it's free. So if you lose, you keep your $100, man. You don't even lose it.
Right.
So what better way to go try to win you some money and still keep your money? You know what I'm saying? So go sign up to Bet US and tell them Crystal Lamar sent you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, man. All right, man. Let's do our 2 early top 12 college football teams.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll let you go first.
Okay, so too early. I know we still got some weeks, but number one, I got Texas. I think Texas has been one of the most dominant teams. Obviously, we can clearly see the talent that they have. They probably have the 2 best quarterback tandem in the nation, probably with Quinn Ewers and Manning. So, and then Sarkisian has done an amazing job. That defensive line is amazing too. So, shout out to them. Number 2, I got Ohio State. Man, Ohio State has been consistent. Obviously, they haven't really played anybody. They got the big game. I think this week they play Oregon, so obviously that would be a must-watch game. So I'm very excited to see that game. Shout out to my I forgot the receiver's name. What's his name? Homie's nice.
Well, I know he's in like Tate or something like that.
I don't know. I forgot my man's name. I'll figure that out. But shout out to bro. Number 3, I got Oregon. So Oregon, I got number 3. I think Oregon has been consistent. Obviously, they started out pretty slow, but it seems like they're playing better. I'm really excited to see that Oregon-Ohio State game. I think that's going to come down to the wire. So shout out to them. Number 4, I got Miami. I think Miami, even with that close win with California, they have had some very impressive wins. I know you can feel a certain type of way against Florida, but Florida in Swampville, look, man, that's tough to do. You know what I mean? They were able to get that win. So I got Miami for number 5. I got Penn State. Penn State has been they've been really consistent in what they're doing. Obviously, not too impressive as far as on the offensive side, but their defense is really, really good. They do have bigger games coming up. Ohio State. I think they got Oregon and USC or something like that coming up. Number 6, I got Ole Miss. I was really impressed by their response coming off that loss against Kentucky, going into South Carolina. They do have offensive talent. Jackson Dart, he is decent. He's really good. You see the arm talent. So I got them number 6. Number 7, I got Georgia. I got Georgia at 7 based on them losing to Bama. It was a close game, but I think with the Bama loss to Vandy, I think it hurts them a little bit too. So I got them at number 7. Number 8, I got Tennessee. I said I was a little surprised by their loss to Arkansas, but I got them at number 8. Number 9, I got Bama. That was a tough loss against Vandy, but I still got y'all in there by the slightest. Number 10, I got Clemson, by just the way they've been playing. They've been playing pretty good. Number 11, I got LSU. Watch out for LSU, people. LSU has been balling out. They got some big games. They got talent. That offense has finally looked like they got awake. That defense looks like it's playing a lot better. Brian Kelly looked like they got them going out. Obviously, that loss to USC starting to look a little worse by the week in the way USC been losing, but I still got confidence in LSU. They got some big games coming up. And then number 12, I got surprising. I got BYU. I got BYU at number 12. They've been playing really, really good. That defense has been playing pretty good. So I got them at number 12. And outside looking in, at least 3, I got Iowa State, Notre Dame, and Texas A&M.
For sure. All right, number 1, I got Texas also. What's understood don't need to be said about
Absolutely.
them. Same thing with Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? They're dominating cupcake teams. Like you said, they got a big game against Oregon. Same thing with Oregon. Oregon started off a little sluggish, like you said. Now they got a big test coming up with Ohio State. They beat Ohio State. They can put their flag in the
They'll be
middle of
number
the
1.
field.
I got them number 1 if they beat Ohio State.
Okay. I got Penn State number 4. They've been really consistent with their wins. I can't discount Penn State. You know what I'm saying? I got to show love to Penn State. I still love Miami at 5, though. You know what I'm saying? They had some big wins and some close wins. But you know, that's how I'm worked down. Number 6, I got Georgia. You know what I'm saying? They got back, they bounced back, they won. I know they lost to Alabama, but they bounced back and got a win like they were supposed to do. Number 7, I'm gonna go with Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Even though they lost to Vanderbilt, I know. But that Vanderbilt loss doesn't look as bad because they gave another SEC team some tough. They've given some tough times with some other SEC teams. So I'm gonna give them a little bit of a pass. Number 8, I'm gonna go Ole Miss. Like you said, they bounced back this week. You know what I'm saying? After the tough loss to Kentucky, Kentucky gave Georgia, the business too, and they almost beat them. So I'm gonna give them some love. You know what I'm saying? But Ole Miss bounced back. I'm gonna go with Tennessee too. I just think there was a rough day at the office for that offense. Like you said, they have a young quarterback. I think they'll bounce back next week and they'll be fine. Number 10, I got LSU. Ever since they've lost, they've been playing a lot better. Brian Kelly has been, like you said, having this team rolling. Their quarterback is looking better by the weeks. Yeah, man, LSU always going to have talent. Number 11, I'm going Notre Dame. I like Notre Dame. I think they've been playing really good football these past 3 weeks. Marcus Freeman got this team rolling. I got to show them some love. And you know what? I gotta show love when love is shown. They beat the hell out of my Mizzou Tigers. I gotta show love to Texas A&M, man. They put the beats on Missouri. I got to show them love, man. So they're number 12.
Okay, not bad. We'll do another one in right before the end of the year.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Let's talk a little playoff baseball. Now, we got big games today. You know what I'm saying? I think one's going on right now, ain't it? Yeah, you got the Cleveland Guardians. They're facing the Detroit Tigers. Shout out to my boy Robs and Derek. They're Tiger fans. They kind of got the beats first game. So
yeah,
I need them to show up today. My Royals faced the Yankees, and it was a tight net game. But look, man, I don't care what anybody say. Chisholm was out. God damn it. That was out. It's a point of having replay. And you see it clearly that the man was out. And he still say he wasn't out. And that
Mm-hmm.
sealed our fate, man. It pretty much sealed our fate because he ended up running in and make it a 6-5 lead.
Yeah.
We just couldn't get a hit, man. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Shout out to their pitching, you know what I'm saying? And they pulled it out at the end. But you know what? I'm encouraged by this game. You know what I'm saying? Because that was our sea level pitching. Now we get to the real dogs. Cole Reagan is up tonight, and he's the real deal. You know what I'm saying? And in the
Right.
next game, we got Seth Lugo at home. So
Mm-hmm.
y'all ready, Yankees? Because I don't think y'all are. Because y'all ain't, in the playoffs, and Judge, you ain't doing that great.
Right. Right.
I'm just saying. Soto's the real deal in your team. I'm just saying. Soto's your real in the playoffs. I'm just saying. But I'm encouraged, you know what I'm saying, by tonight's game because we got the real pitching tonight. Now, if y'all beat us with this pitching, then y'all gonna win the series. But
Right.
I think we take it tonight. And yeah, man, I'm ready, locked and loaded. I'm gonna be watching on my phone, be watching the Royals, and at the Chiefs bar, I'm be watching the Chiefs. So yeah, double time.
So yeah, honestly, I think your Royals. I think this series is gonna go 5. I really do. This smells like a 5-game series to me. Look, man, like the Yankees, offensively, they were able to put some runs on the board. I think they still have questions on their pitching staff. So we got to see what's up. But if the Royals can win this game, go tied. All you just need is win one on the road.
Yeah,
you win one on the road, you go back home, you're tied 1-1. Everything's up for grabs. So I think this is going to be one of the many series that go 5 games to me personally, just the way everything's been filling out. The only one I think that would be any question is probably this Tigers Guardians one. I know the Tigers are a little young. Obviously, I did pick them to win tonight's game, but we got to see. But yeah, man, this is going to be a really good series.
Yeah, I agree.
Shout out to Bobby Witt too.
Yeah, for sure. Salvi, Bobby Witt, MJ Melendez showed up, man, when we needed him too. Like, yeah. Benny Pass, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, man, gotta get some bats, man. We gotta swing. Let the bats go, players.
Yeah.
You had the Phillies and the Mets. Now the Mets got them in the first game. You know what I'm saying? But yesterday, Phillies brought it back 1-1. You know what I'm saying? I can see this going 5 games too. You know what I'm saying? The Mets ain't backing down from the Phillies. I know the Phillies were pretty much the best team in the league this year, but the Mets look like they real deal too. So shout out to the Mets, man.
Nah, Mets look like one of the hotter teams coming into the playoffs, low key. So this is gonna be back and forth. You can kind of already feel the animosity between both fan bases, man. They got their rivalries going on. This should easily be a 5-game series. Both games kind of played out similar. You know what I mean? Mets were down to the Phillies game 1. They were able to come back and win. Phillies were down, and then they were able to come back and win. So. Shout out to both teams, man. Should be really exciting, man. Shout out to Bryce, Vegas native.
Yeah, for sure. Then the Padres end up putting the beats on the Dodgers yesterday.
Yeah.
They put the beats on them, tying this series up. This one's probably gonna be one of the more interesting series. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the Padres have the Dodgers number.
They do.
Especially in the playoffs. So
they do. Yeah.
This will be interesting to see how they look. They're going back to San Diego, I think, on Wednesday or Thursday, or probably tomorrow. But they go back to San Diego, and we'll see. You know what I'm saying? Because if they go down 2-1, that's when the palms get sweaty and
right.
You know what I'm saying? It get a little tight over there.
Yeah, the Dodgers pitchings look like it's been falling apart, especially with injuries and stuff like that. I think you have my man, he was suspended for a minute. I don't know what happened to him. Obviously, Shohei's not pitching. This offense is going to need to carry this team. We can already see the rivalry going on between the teams and the fan bases. There are fights brawling out. People throwing stuff on the field in LA. You see players ready to fight fans and shit like that. This is much watched TV at its finest for baseball. I think baseball should I'm not saying celebrate people throwing stuff on the field, because obviously we don't want no one to get hurt and injured. We don't need people throwing stuff on the field, but just the intensity of these two and this rivalry and these fan bases. I think this is something that baseball needs to start promoting more, man. If they want to get more eyes on it, man, this is the type of baseball that people want to see. People want to see fiery stuff, man. People want to see high competition. Go same with the Mets and Phillies. These two series are probably the most entertaining to watch. I think that Royals and Yankees one is definitely entertaining too. But look, man, this series is I'm very curious to see what's going to happen in Game 3. I think Game 3 is going to kind of tell us a lot on what sense of direction this is going to go. But then again, this series can be so crazy. You know what I mean? Every game will be its own world, and anything can happen.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, man. Let's do it. Week 6 recap, man. Let's talk about it, man. It was a crazy weekend for football, period, man. It was just a lot of crazy games this week, man. And they kicked it off Thursday night. Falcons, Buccaneers, NFC South rivalry. You know what I'm saying? It was going down. But the Atlanta Falcons ended up pulling out in overtime 36-30. Kirk Cousins was 42 of 58, 509 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a pick. Bijan Robinson, 12 carries, 61 yards. And Drake London probably had his best game ever as a Falcon. He had 12 catches, 154 yards, and a touchdown. Darnell Mooney had 9 catches, 105 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Kyle Pitts, 7 catches, 88 yards. And Caldridge Hodge, who won the game, 2 catches, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Ray McLeod had 6 catches, 66 yards, too. And then on Buck side, Baker Mayfield, he had a decent day. 19 of 28, 108 yards, but he did have 3 touchdowns. Rashad White had 10 carries, 72 yards. Chris Godwin, 5 catches, 54 yards. And Mike Evans had 5 catches, 62 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Kirk Cousins was amazing in this game. He was slinging that thing left and right. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this was Drake London's best game. Darnell Mooney looks like he might have a resurgence in his career, getting away from Chicago. He's been a really good playmaker for them, and he's looking like he might be worth every penny that they signed him to that contract. Because everybody's looking at that contract like, man, that's way too much. I would never pay Darnell Mooney that. But it's early, but he's been playing really well. My only gripe it's always been my gripe with the Falcons, man. They just don't get Bijan involved enough for me.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like they don't know how to use him.
Yeah, I don't.
That's my problem with another team we're gonna talk about later. But yeah, man, they don't get him involved. But yet and still, their defense made enough plays when they needed to, and they got it done in overtime. Tampa Bay still a good team. You know what I'm saying? I still think there's going to be a neck and neck race between these two teams in this division, and yeah, man, it's going to come down to the wire. I think, because I wouldn't be surprised if they take it in Tampa Bay, if they beat Falcons in Tampa Bay and they 1-1 split. So
yeah,
it's going to come down to the end of the year.
No, I agree with you. This is probably the most comfortable Kirk Cousins has looked in this offense. And if it looked like they were starting to get Kyle Pitts, that's another player I think they should honestly feed a little bit more is Kyle Pitts. You see the explosiveness that he can have. But I was really happy for Darnell Mooney, you know what I mean, coming from the Chicago Bears situations and out here looking like, you know, he's finally found a home. He's found a rapport with Kirk Cousins. You know, he's kind of showing him out. So hopefully he's able to get more bread for him, man. Hopefully he can deserve that. And I agree with you. I do not understand why they cannot be consistent in getting Bijan Robinson the ball. You see the explosive behavior. Maybe it's the offensive line play. You know, they're not the best, I guess, in the run blocking. Because there's a lot of holes that do get stuffed up when Bijan's trying to fight off 2-3 guys right off the line of scrimmage. So maybe that might be something to do with it. But get more creative. Have him come out. Do some Jahmyr Gibbs shit. Like literally watch what the Detroit Lions do with Jahmyr Gibbs and just do the same shit with Bijan Robinson. You know what I mean? They're literally the same players, low key. So I don't get it. But either way. Both of these teams are going to be competing for this division. Depending on how I think this is big. This is why I also think this is a big game for the Saints tonight to maintain of them having a chance. But But anyways, but yeah, Bucks shouldn't be too discouraged. I get it. You don't want to lose divisional games like this. But Baker Mayfield is looking really good. They're going to be playing them again, in Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay has a chance to get their lick back. So, but overall, man, tip your hat off to Kirk Cousins, man. It seems like he's getting more comfortable on that Achilles and with his offense.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The Vikings and the Jets made some of y'all get up because I damn sure wasn't about to do it. Get up early in the morning and watch this terrible game. Boring as hell. Aaron Rodgers had a terrible day. 25 of 54, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 INTs. Garrett Wilson, 13 catches, 101 yards, and a touchdown. Tyler Conklin had 6 catches, 55 yards. Sam Darnold probably had his worst game. 14 of 31, 177 yards, and a pick. Justin Jefferson, 6 catches, 92 yards. This was a defensive struggle, but Aaron Rodgers, he just turned the football over way too many times and just kept the Vikings in this game because it wasn't like, the showing that we've been seeing from Sam Darnold, like he was, how he's been, lighting up the scoreboard and all that. The Jets defense actually played pretty well in this game. It was just Aaron Rodgers was just bad. There's no creativity in this offense. What do you expect in this Nathaniel Hackett? You know what I'm saying? He's not a very creative offensive mind. You could just tell, they don't know how to use Brees Hall. They don't know how to use Braylon Allen. They're all out of sorts. I don't think Devontae Adams would help this offense at all. I think he'd be just as frustrated, but whatever. The Jets are the Jets. I don't, they just look so mid to me. It's just they look like a 7 seed at best.
And they're not even that though. That's the thing with this team. They're not even that. They're not even that. If I'm Devontae Adams, why would I want to go there? Why? This team is dysfunctional. When did Alan Lazard become the number 2 over Mike Williams? That's insane in its own. You know what I mean? And then again, we talked about Bijan Robinson. Why don't they use Brees Hall enough? Like, what's going on with that? Like, they don't use him. Like, Aaron Rodgers is having a tough time finding a rapport with Garrett Wilson. Maybe all those videos that we saw during training camp, those were something. You know what I mean? Some people are trying to say those were nothing. Maybe those were something. Maybe there's a frustration level between the two of them. You already have the likes of the dysfunctional relationship between Robert Saleh and Aaron Rodgers. That doesn't help. You have an offensive coordinator who one of the worst up there with Luke Getsy. We're gonna get to that in a minute, but he's really not good. And the only reason why he still has a job is because Aaron Rodgers and him are good boys. So I'm like, and I ask anybody, how does Devontae Adams help this team? He does not. I get it in the sense of, okay, yeah, he's going to be the true number 1. You could put Garrett Wilson at the 2. You would expect Garrett Wilson to get more open and have more opportunities. And the Devontae Adams can also help out with the rest of everything else. Brees Hall, getting some lanes open. But they have so many issues. The offensive line is really not that good. Aaron Rodgers looks like an old Aaron Rodgers. He's misthrown. Like, these aren't like a great interception. These are bad, terrible throws. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, it looked like he almost tore his ACL or broke his ankle in the game. So I'm like, how much longer can he uphold? Like, is he going to be healthy to go into the next week? Like, he is an older body. His body's not going to respond to treatment as fast as you would assume because, high ankle sprains, they last forever, man. Take it from me. When I watched LeBron get a high ankle sprain and our whole season got ruined with the last 2 months of the year. So it's this team has a lot of questions. And then that's not even bringing up the Hassan Reddick shit. Like, this team just has so much drama. Like, it's not a well-run organization. I don't know why people still try to put them in this playoff type of team. They're not a Super Bowl contending team. They're not. They never were. We people want to build up the Jets because it's been so long. You got Aaron Rodgers. Like, the year for them was last year, but it got ruined because Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. This team is just not good, man. And we all got to accept it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, it looks depressing over there.
Yeah. And then not to skip over the Vikings, solid win for the Vikings on the road. I really discredit any of these international games. They're weird games. Traveling is weird. Your practicing is just weird. So I know the Vikings didn't play a really good game, and then hopefully Aaron Jones's injury to his hip isn't as serious for him not to be able to play the rest of the game. Hopefully, it was just more for precautionary reasons. But I think the
Mhm.
Vikings will be fine. They got 5-0. They were able to just win the game, get out of there, and they could go back to their normal schedule programming for the rest of the year.
Yeah, for sure. One of the bigger games this weekend, the Ravens beat the Cincinnati Bengals 41 to
Mm-hmm.
38. Lamar Jackson was amazing, 26 of 42, 348 yards and 4 touchdowns. Derrick Henry had 15 carries, uh, had 92 yards and a touchdown. Zay Flowers, 7 catches, 111 yards. Kohler, the other tight end, 3 catches, 64 yards and a touchdown. And Bateman had 4 catches, 58 yards and a touchdown. And then Joe Burrow threw 30 for 39, 392 yards, 5 touchdowns and a pick. Chase Brown had 12 carries, 46 yards. Jamar Chase had 10 catches, 193 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And T. Higgins had 9 catches, 83 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This was an offensive back and forth AFC North
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh, battle. You know what I'm saying? Like every
Yeah.
time it was just up and down the field on both sides of the ball. Both teams put on. Um, a lot of people are questioning how Zach Taylor handled that last drive. Should he have just the way the offense was looking? Should he have put the ball in Joe Burrow in them hands and let them go win the game instead of fighting for a field goal? But McPherson is one of the better kickers in the league. So you
Mm-hmm.
kind of understand it, you know what I'm saying? Just how Ravens got Justin Tucker. I'm sure the Chiefs got Harrison Buckner. Like anybody with a good kicker, they're gonna they'll play for the kick. You know what I'm saying? Because they trust their kicker's gonna get the kick. Um,
Right.
McPherson, it wasn't McPherson's fault. It was the snap holder's fault. He botched the snap, got it up just in time, and it ended up swinging left. And then the next time before that, we got to talk about Lamar Jackson. He fumbled the snap and pretty much damn near lost the game for them. Bengals probably should have won this game. And But on that after that uh, field goal miss, Derrick Henry takes it down the field like 60, 70 yards. They end up kicking the field goal. Baltimore ends up winning the game. Um, Now the Bengals are 1-4 now.
Uh-huh.
The Ravens are 3-2. Um, what are your thoughts on this game, sir?
Uh, shout out to Lamar. You know, he put on an MVP style performance. I do think they do need another receiver, but they more so need some cornerback help. They really do. Like, if you could find a way to get my man from Carolina out of there, what's his name, Horn or something like that. You
JC
know, if you
Horn.
JC Horn, like, yeah, if you could get him out of there and try to get him to Baltimore, I think that's what Baltimore really needs. I mean, they still haven't even got Mark Andrews involved. You saw a couple plays here and there where he was able to make some big time catches and all that. So, but I think that if anything, that's what the Ravens should do. But huge win. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying their corners are young. Nate Wiggins
They
is
are, they
they're
are,
young.
but they're trying to win the Super Bowl this year. Like
Yeah,
they
yeah, I
need
hear you.
they need, if they can buff up that. Like, look, I think Wiggins is going to be a really good cornerback. I really do. But if you can get some help on that back end, you're trying to win a chip. Like, this is not like you know we want to see the best we can this year, and then we go into next. Nah. They're trying to win a championship this year, and they need all the help they can get on that back end. If they can just solidify that back end, this team is going to be really, really dominant. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you never know. Maybe Nate Wiggins, as the year goes on, he gets better and better and more comfortable, and the rest of them cornerbacks, and then everything will just fall into place, and they could be playing top notch football going into the playoffs. As far as like the Bengals, look, man, like, Joe Burrow played an amazing game. He even said it. He needed to play a perfect game to win, but he didn't play a perfect game. Like, when you look at his numbers, yeah, they look perfect, but he threw the big interception that kind of cost the momentum of this game. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's not like I'm trying to put blame on Joe Burrow, but look, man, he is 1-4. Like, he does put up great numbers, but it gets to a point like, all right, you can put up these great numbers, but can you win these games? That's all I'm saying. And he is a really great quarterback, you know what I mean? But they need to figure something out. I don't know what it is with this team and why they can't close games. This has been happening consistently, I would say probably for the last 2-3 years. Even before his injuries, he was having, he started off slow and they were having problems winning some of these games. So maybe it's because the defense isn't really as good as it was before, to where they can get stops. It's pretty bad. Like,
their defense is terrible.
Yeah, they might have the worst set of cornerbacks in the league right now. I know some people might say the Commanders, but I think the Commanders corners have at least shown in somewhat improvement.
They're getting better.
They're getting better. But the Bengals, oh my God. And then it's just like, like they're getting some pressure on the quarterback, obviously, because we did see Lamar Jackson able to scramble, but they're not getting the amount of pressure that we are accustomed for them to get. Like, they're not getting the sacks like we're accustomed to seeing Henderson get. And obviously they lost some key pieces on the D line, but I don't know where it goes for the Cincinnati Bengals from here. Like, obviously I do expect them to win more than 3 games, but I could see them being like one of those 500 teams. Like, maybe they'll win like 3-4 in a row or something like that, and they'll find a way to be maybe 9-7, 7-9, something like that, or 7-10, I would just say, or 8-9. But I don't know, man. This team is not a playoff team. It's not.
No, they're not. They're not right now. Yes, possibly they could have won some of these games. They possibly should have won. They probably should have won the game against the Chiefs. They probably should have won. They probably should have won this game. You know what I'm saying?
Like, you can't even win. You can't even win the games where your offense is elite. What is that supposed to say when your offense ain't elite? You know what I mean? You're just not gonna win. Like, this is a game that the Bengals should have won. Joe Burrow went 30 of 39, 392, 5 TDs. Jamar Chase had almost 200 yards, and you're trying to. And Chase Brown wasn't bad either. T. Higgins had a really good game
too.
Like, this is literally the perfect offensive game for the Cincinnati Bengals, and yet you still couldn't find a way to win. And I get it. Yes, if the fucking placeholder could have just hold on to the ball and homie could have kicked it, they might have won the game. But unfortunately, you guys did not. You guys are 1-4. So,
and hey, I always dump on the Bengals, but I was happy because they helped my ticket out too. You know what I'm saying? I needed that.
You know what I mean? So,
I needed the Ravens with that -2.5, baby.
It's like with this team, it's like, my God, if you can put this, like, look, if you can put the Bengals offense on that Steelers defense, that might be the perfect team of all time. That might be the most perfect team of all time.
They might go 17-0, man.
they might. They will not lose. They would. I think they would never lose, and they would definitely finally get rid of the Dolphins only being the only team being undefeated in the NFL. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like the AFC North is just in a weird spot. That's what I've always said. The Ravens they have the most balanced team out of all of them. You know what I mean? Like, the Browns are horrendous, which we're gonna get to, and then we'll get to the Steelers here later on. But this is why I've always said the Ravens are the favorites for this division, because they're the most complete team in this division.
And I feel like they're, shout out to my guy Chuck. He said John Harbaugh has wore his welcome. Said he wore his welcome out, but I think that at all the teams, they're the most structurally, from
they have the most balance. Let me say the most balanced. Maybe not the most complete, because we talked about the cornerback situation, but they're balanced on offense. If you can just find some balance on the defensive side with their cornerback play, this team should easily win this division.
And I don't want to, try to, depend on the rookies. He's still a rookie too. But once they get TJ Tampa back, another cornerback that they drafted,
that would help. That would definitely help. Yeah.
I think their corners will be a lot better, because he'll help out. You could put Marlon Humphrey in the slot and put those 2 tall corners, Nick Wiggins and Tampa, on the outside. Now you got 2 big corners, and you got Marlon Humphreys in the slot. So,
and then on top of that, the Ravens have they have the best head coach in that division, and they have the 2 best players in that division with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry.
Yep. Hey, man, shout out to Derrick Henry, man. He balling, dog.
Easy.
I'm glad we met him in the beginning when they didn't figure this shit out.
Right. You might have to meet him you might need to meet him in January when it gets really cold and really tough to tackle his ass.
Glad we met him when they didn't figure that shit out. They still running the zone read shit with him. The Indianapolis Colts lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars 37-34. Jags finally got their first win. And I'll tell you what, I know I dump on this dude. but Trevor Lawrence had a good game, man.
Yeah,
He
really good
looked
game.
like the first round pick that we all come to know and love. He
Yeah.
made some awesome throws. He also had a bad pick, but he had some awesome throws.
Mhm.
28, 34, 371 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Is Travis Etienne the starting running back for this team?
I know that's been one of the top questions coming out of this game. Bigsby looked really good.
He been looking good the
Like
whole
like don't get
season.
me wrong, Travis Etienne had a really good year last year. He really
He
did. I
did.
don't know what's up with him this year. I don't know. Like Bigsby just seems like the guy at this
Yeah,
point. If I'm the Jags, if I'm Doug Peterson, I think I already heard that he said that Etienne is their guy, but I think at this point you got to go with the hot hand. If Bixby is your hot hand, then so be it. Or just have Etienne on a shorter lease because at the end of the day, he needs to win these games to save his job. So
yeah,
you like the loyalty of like, yo, I want to keep Etienne in this game. But if he's not giving you the production that Bigsby's giving you, then you got to make the tough decision and be like, all right, Etienne, we're gonna need to figure this out. Like I've even heard some trade rumors with
yeah. I heard
Etienne
that
maybe
too. I've heard that
if they
too.
keep losing these games. But obviously the win, so I don't expect him to get traded this week. But
No, no,
we
no,
gotta see
no.
how next week goes.
Mhm.
So but
Yeah, but they had, but offensively they was great. Joe Flacco, they were down. It wasn't looking too good for the Colts, but it seemed like Joe Flacco once he started getting in a rhythm, they started surging back. Joe Flacco was 31 of 44, 359, 3 touchdowns. Trey Sermon, 10 carries, 38 yards, and a touchdown. Alec Pierce looks like the number one wide receiver on this team.
yeah,
Yeah,
3 for 134. Yeah.
and 1 touchdown.
Man, what happened
Josh
to Michael
Downs,
Pitt?
huh?
What happened to Pittman?
I don't know. But Josh Downs, they just got him back, and he's looking like he's giving them a boost on offense. 9 catches, 61 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I know they was missing Jonathan Taylor in this game. Um, they almost came back and won. You know what I'm saying? Jags almost did what they did with when they faced the Texans. They almost left the door open and let the Colts come back and win, but they did enough to win the game. And shout out to them. I think it was a game winning field goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, they kicked the game winning field goal, won the game, and Dougie P keeps his job for another week.
Nah, man. Shout out to Trevor. He was able to respond off those. It was kind of crazy seeing that stat where he lost like 8 straight games or something like that. Like that's pretty crazy. You wouldn't expect that from Trevor Lawrence. Like I know he hasn't played well, but you wouldn't expect that from him. Um, we already kind of touched on the running back situation. So I'm gonna really stick with this Colts. I'm gonna ask you a question. It, is Joe Flacco really showing how bad certain quarterbacks are? Because he did this with Deshaun. Now
Yeah.
he's kind of doing it with Anthony Richardson and showing how bad he's been. Like, should the Colts consider? I'm not saying they're going to do it, but should they consider starting Flacco over Anthony Richardson until he's fully healthy? Until he's fully healthy.
Yeah, if we're talking health, then yes. You know what I'm saying? But the only way Anthony Richardson is going to get better is with real live reps. So, I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're comparing a dude who's really in his first season because he didn't
True. No, I get it.
play.
Yeah. Just a
He's
question.
just,
I'm not saying
no, no,
I
I
would
hear
do
it.
it.
No, no, no. It's a good question. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, because I was even when I was looking at Joe Flacco, I was like, that's who the Raiders should have signed. That's who they should have went and got.
Not Gardner Minshew. Not Gardner Minshew. Should have been
That,
Flacco.
yeah.
He might be number one in our division.
That's what I'm just
Devontae
saying,
would not be asking for a trade.
because he'll be getting the ball.
Getting the ball.
So I
Brock
was
Bowers
like,
look amazing with fucking
yeah,
Joe Flacco.
he looked amazing yesterday. We'll get
Yeah.
into that in a minute though. But no, I get it. If you're waiting to get Anthony Richards fully healthy, then yeah, you start Joe Flacco and I get it. The offense does flow a lot better. He is a 15, 16-year vet. There ain't
Mhm.
nothing Joe Flacco ain't seen.
Mhm.
He's seen every defense in the book. This man has won a Super Bowl. He was on that Ravens team when they had Ray Lewis and all them. So he's been around some greats. So Joe Flacco's been around the block. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? So you're comparing a 15, 16-year veteran to a dude who's barely got any snaps because of
yeah,
injury situation. But I agree. If Anthony Richardson isn't fully healthy this week, then you just drove Joe Flacco right back up out there and you try to win games, man, because this division, man, you're trying to get at least in the playoffs. I don't think you have a chance to win the division, but you have a chance to at least get into that playoffs. You know what I'm saying? At least be a 6 or 7 seed.
right.
So
I wouldn't like to me like I think the answer is like there's no reason to rush Anthony Richardson back.
no,
Don't put like if he's not 100%, don't play him. I don't give a
no.
fuck if he's 95. And I get it, he does need to play, but he is he's your future of this team.
Mhm.
And I get it. Yes, he does need to play. He does need to get snaps underneath him. It just didn't look like it was going well. It looked like he was
No.
regressing more than he was
Yeah.
actually progressing. Like just some of the throws were air, like it was bad. It was bad. So, and it's like you don't want him to get bad habits. Maybe it might be a good thing for him to sit back and watch Joe Flacco and actually,
Mhm.
like Joe Flacco is a Super Bowl champion, so he obviously has knowledge to give, and he's been really consistent even at his age. He's the
Mhm.
quarterback that the Jets should have probably had, not Aaron Rodgers, because he's been playing better as an older quarterback than Aaron Rodgers has.
Mhm.
So, but the most disappointing thing for me with this Colts team is this defense. I expected more from
Yeah.
this defense. This defense has
Yeah.
looked pathetic. I don't know why. I don't know when they became allergic to tackling. Maybe they missed Stephon Gilmore a little bit more than what we thought. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but this defense is just not what I expected. I expected this defense to be at least top 10, but this has been a bottom half defense for the majority of the year. So
Yeah.
hopefully they can get that together. Hopefully they can find a way to get Michael Pittman back involved. Hopefully they can find a way to get this running back with Jonathan Taylor. Hopefully getting healthy. That's another concern you're going to have based on his injury history. Mo Ali Cox, he's one of the better tight ends I think in the league. You know what I mean? His catch
Mhm.
radius is pretty crazy. And then Trey Sermon is not bad. You know what I mean? Maybe
Yeah.
they can find a way to get him more established. It was his first game. He didn't have great numbers, but maybe they might be able to establish depending on how Jonathan Taylor acts. But
Yeah.
you expect more from a Shane Steichen, is that his name?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
expect like this offense wasn't bad. Like they were able to score 34 points. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it just so this defense just got to get their act together. If they can get that, then I think they can find a way to muster up some wins. They still play the Texans another game, so they still have a chance for this division. Like look, let's be honest. The Texans, we'll talk about it, but the Texans haven't looked the greatest. So you know what I mean? And they got some problems that we're also going to discuss, which hurt my fucking fantasy team again, which we're going to probably. But anyway, it's not. I'm going long with it, but yeah, Colts. They got some stuff to figure out.
Look, man, I ain't about to get into no deep discussion about this next game. Uh, the Dolphins beat the Patriots 15-10. This is one of the worst football games this
Yo, we
weekend.
can go on. Just tell them the
College,
score. Just tell them the score
college,
and move on. I
college, and
feel bad for
NFL.
Tyreek. I feel
I
bad for
do too.
Tyreek, man.
I
I
feel
feel bad
bad
for
for
Tyreek.
Tyreek Hill. I feel bad for Waddle.
Yeah, I feel bad for them. Hopefully, A-Chan can get healthy. But
Yeah,
and
man.
then I'm glad Odell was finally able to play in the game. But there's and shout out to Christian Gonzalez. You're one of the best one of the best cornerbacks. That again, that's another pick that the Raiders. I hate to go back to the Raiders. That's another pick the Raiders decided not to go get. Told them we needed a cornerback, but they didn't want to get it. But yeah, man, there's nothing to say about this game, man. We can just move to the next.
Oh, going back to the Jackson, Brian Thomas Jr. is a beast.
Them LSU receivers is on crack mode, bro. They like them LSU receivers might be the more guaranteed thing than Alabama like defender at this point.
Yeah,
Bro.
man.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's what I'm
crazy.
saying. Like,
It's crazy.
bro, Brian Thomas Jr. is a baller.
Yeah.
The Washington Commanders put the beats on the Cleveland Browns,
Yeah.
34-13. Deshaun Watson, Lord Jesus, 15-28, 125 yards, 1 touchdown. Amari Cooper had 4 catches, 60 yards. Jaden Daniels, 14-25, 238 yards and a touchdown. He also had 11 carries and 82 yards. Terry McLaurin had 4 catches, 112 yards and a touchdown. And Dami Brown had two catches and a touchdown, um, 69 yards too. Um, man, it was just pure domination. Cleveland's offense is horrible. Deshaun Watson is terrible. The man had an 8.3 QBR. I'm gonna repeat that. An 8.3 QBR. To give you context, Jamarcus Russell never had a bad QBR like that. I bet you, I bet you Tim Tebow didn't have a bad QBR like that.
Bet you Zach Wilson didn't have a QBR like that.
He didn't. He didn't. This team is terrible. They need to start Jameis. Well, I get it, the money and all that. Just bite the bullet. Put the man on the bench, uh, and start Jameis Winston. Hey, at least it'll be a lot more fun with Jameis because they look depressed over there. That whole that man, when Deshaun Watson comes off the field, man, it just looks depressing, man. Everybody's quit. Nobody's running their routes fully. The offensive line ain't blocking for dude. It's just, the defense is still decent, but and they can only do so much because the offense is so bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a reflection on how they're bad. It's just the offense is so bad, so they get tired easily. So it's like whatever, man. They ain't gonna score. Deshaun Watson, he's inaccurate. He can't, you know what I'm saying? He probably should have thrown about 3 or 4 picks yesterday. He just mentally he doesn't even look like he wants to be out there. And if that's the case, and I know why he's not going to do this because the money, but brother, stop wasting our time. Stop wasting our Sundays, Thursdays, and Mondays, man. Stop wasting our time, man. Just go home. Go home. Retire. Let it go. It's over, brother. Because you better get all this money that you can. Because man, hopefully, not another person comes out and says you did some filthy, nasty stuff. Because man, this is it.
They did. He has another case. So yeah, they did. Look, man. Number one, I'm gonna start off with the good, man. Commanders.
But hold on.
Oh, no,
Jaden Daniels, I do gotta get Jaden Daniels. You are legit. You are in the lead right now for Rookie of the Year, man. You're balling, man. That Washington team, y'all might win that division because the other teams, Giants are starting to look a little bit better, but still, the other teams, yeah, no, y'all might win this division. So, and it's because of Jaden Daniels.
No, Jaden Daniels is easily the Rookie of the Year. Even though Caleb Williams has looked more impressive as weeks have gone on, so let's not sleep on that. Look, man, the Commanders team is legit. This defense has played a lot better. I said the improvement is there, and I get it that the competition that they played. When you really look at their competition, they have dominated all these teams, and I get it. Like the Cardinals, look, they dominated the Cardinals, and the Cardinals just went to San Francisco and beat the San Francisco. They should have beat the Buffalo Bills, and they might have beat. I forgot the other game that was against the Detroit Lions. They should have won that one too. Mm-hmm. And they went and they went to Arizona and they dominated them. They dog walked them, belt to ass them. They've done that to every single team. They went to Cincinnati. They took Cincinnati's one of their better offensive shots, and they dominated them. Like, this team is legit. This team is clear cut the best team in this division. And I'm so shocked to say this, but at the end of the day, I'm really happy for that organization. Hopefully they can get a better stadium, which I'm sure Jaden Daniels, it would be known as the stadium that Jaden Daniels built. They're going to get a new stadium. I think they're getting a new training facility and all that. So, and then that city of Washington, D.C., they've done beautiful things to that city to build that city up. I went there a couple years ago with my pops, man. That city is very, very beautiful, man. So shout out to all those people out there in Chocolate City, man. Y'all deserve it, man. I'm really happy for that organization. I'm sure my pops is really happy about that. But
look,
man, the Browns, look, let's I feel bad for Kevin Stefanski, man. Like, he only could do so much. Like, I get it. Like, he's not going to be able to sit him down. Like, the answer is to put Jameis in there, but the owner's not going to allow that because of how much more money he owes. I think he still owes him like 100, 110, 112 million or something left on the deal. Even if they were to cut him or do anything like that, it's like a whopping 130-40 million dollar cap hit. It might even be more. Like, it's that ridiculous. And then even after this year, they still owe him 80-something million. So there's really no hope. And I feel bad for a lot of these players because this team, look, on paper, is one of the more talented teams in the league. You know what I'm saying? So Jerry Jeudy left a bad situation to go even to a worse situation. So he's better off staying there with the Broncos. Bro, he might as well stay with the Broncos, bro. And then Amari Cooper, I feel bad for him. You know what I mean? At this point, he should try to head back to if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I'll try to get Amari Cooper back. You know what I'm saying? Like, or
Okay.
like, hopefully not. But like, if you go to Kansas City, like, I'm gonna try to trade for Amari Cooper. But look, man, or even Amari Cooper, like, I don't think they'll ever do it. But maybe even to the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? But I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that.
Buffalo.
Or Buffalo.
Buffalo needs to get Amari Cooper.
Buffalo needs him desperately,
Yes.
because we're obviously seeing that Buffalo really ain't that good. But
Mhm.
the Browns are just in one of the worst spots in NFL right now. They're just in a terrible spot with that contract for the next 3 years. There's nothing really they can do until probably maybe that third year.
Yeah.
But even then, it's just like they can't sit him. Like, you're not going to sit a quarterback that's making $100+ million. You're not going to do that. So
Nope.
they're just stuck with it. It is what it is. And Deshaun Watson, he's going to have to figure out how to get out of his funk, because he's literally the worst quarterback in the whole league right now. He literally is. He's worse than Gardner Minshew. He's worse than Aiden O'Connell. He's worse than some of the backups at this fucking point. Like, you know what I mean? Like Jameis Winston is a better quarterback than you, my brother. Like, Zach Wilson might be a better quarterback than you. Like, the retired Tom Brady is easily a better quarterback than you. So, like, hell, I might be a better quarterback than you at this fucking point. I ain't played a goddamn snap. So I feel bad for Browns fans, because I know they had so much hope for this team, especially like some of the directions. Especially, I think back when Baker Mayfield they had aspirations of them potentially becoming a legit contender, and then coming off, and then they had Joe Flacco in the palm of their hand, and they chose not to resign him. And then it's like you got cats like Dorian Thompson just sitting there wasting away. He should have an opportunity. I think Jameis deserves an opportunity. I don't know why. I get Jameis Winston throws interceptions, but offensively, he can be very explosive. But it's just so many people that have to pause their careers because this one man does not deserve it. He didn't deserve the 100. He didn't deserve the fully guaranteed contract, but you gave it to him. Now it's like, he doesn't deserve to still be on that field, but he is. Like, he has another case being resolved against him, so that's something that's on his plate. Like, it's at this point in time, this man needs to just really consider that his football career might be over once this contract is done. It might be.
Yeah, it is. It's time.
So enjoy every dollar that you get, because I find it hard to believe, unless this man shows in the next couple years that he can somewhat be competent quarterback, this might be the last 3 years we see Deshaun Watson in this league, because at this point he's not even worth the headache no more. At least with the Browns, like, he came off them Texas years. You're like, all right, I get his situation is bad, but he was one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. I've never seen a fall like this at all that didn't have to do anything with injury. Like, bro, even Kobe had to go through some shit. But you know what Kobe did? He put up 40 every game he left the court. He put up 40. Why can't you? There's no excuse. Like, you put yourself in that predicament. So I don't feel bad for you. And it's just like, I don't know how you forgot how to play football. Is that shoulder injury way more serious than what is led on to believe? Because you forgot how to throw. Like, you are not the quarterback I saw come out of Clemson. You are not the quarterback that I saw that was MVP caliber, that went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes and some of these other great quarterbacks. You went toe-to-toe, and sometimes you were the better quarterback. And you went from that to now being, like, you're worse than Jamarcus Russell at this point. Like, what is going on with this man? I don't know if he needs to see a sports psychologist or something. Obviously, I think it's a lot to do up here, but
no, of course, it's mental. It's definitely mental.
Have you seen anything like this in sports? In any sport, like this precipitous fall?
Not like this. Usually, is attached to an injury.
Yeah, it's usually something like that. But like, just with the circumstances, I've seen people go through situations like that, but yet they still perform. Like, you can't forget how to, like, that's your escape from the bullshit in the real world, and whatever you got to go through is being on that field or being on that court or being on that baseball diamond or that hockey rink. Like,
bro, he just looks defeated. He looks defeated when he gets on the field. He looks defeated when he comes off the field. He does not look like the same Deshaun Watson that we saw with the Texans.
Do you think that contract did more harm than good?
It didn't. Well, as far as what, like, to him?
I think for his career, because it's like, I know he was asking for a fully guaranteed contract, but it's like, I don't know, maybe it got him too comfortable. You know what I mean? Because it's not
Maybe.
like you have to like because it's like with certain
Mhm.
contracts, like yeah, you get the first year or two guarantee, but then after that, everything's incentive based. Like you gotta play so many games, you gotta throw for so many yards, you gotta win for so many games, and you gotta be consistent at that. With him getting a fully guaranteed contract, this is like I got my money. Like, all right, what else is there? Like, I don't have to worry about me throwing for 300 yards. I don't have to like you just don't forget to play football. And it's like this should be your escape, brother. I've seen it from so many players, man, that go through bullshit outside of their work. I'm like, how do you forget how to play football? Like, this should be your sanctuary, not your like reason for being miserable. Like, you shouldn't be miserable on that field. You should want to be on that field to get away from the bullshit. I don't
Right.
get it. I
I
don't
don't
get it.
get it. I don't get it either. All right, man. The Buffalo Bills end up losing to the Houston Texans 23-20.
Yeah.
Josh Allen was 9 for 30, 131 yards and a touchdown. James Cook, 20 carries, 82 yards and a touchdown. Keon Coleman had the one catch for 49 yards and a touchdown. CJ Stroud, 28 of 38, 331 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Cam Akers, 9 carries, 42 yards, and a touchdown. Stephon Diggs had six catches and 82 yards. Nico Collins had 2 catches, 78 yards, and a touchdown. Um, you can clearly see that once Nico Collins left this game, this offense suffered.
Mm-hmm.
It was not the same offense in that first half. In the first half, they was rolling. CJ Stroud was dicing that Buffalo defense up. And as soon as Nico Collins left, and look, Stephon Diggs, he played pretty good, you know what I'm saying? Tank Dell had a couple good catches too. But you could just tell it was just a different feel. CJ Stroud didn't look as comfortable as he did in that first half. And Buffalo ended up crawling their way back. I don't know how because they don't look like they don't look like a good team. They look like the team I thought they was gonna look like would they don't have a true number one wide receiver.
Mm-mm.
Um, their running game, James Cook is good, but they don't run him all the time. They're indecisive on when to give him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and you're seeing some of the erratic plays from Josh Allen too. When he gets in trouble, he does a little bit too much, where he'll throw a pick or he'll fumble the football or something like that. He ended up getting hurt. That was a little questionable about the concussion, him coming back. You can see them giving him the smelling sauce to, kind of wake him up. They
Mm-hmm.
might be a little investigation on that, especially with all the concussion situation with Tua.
Yeah.
You saw him kind of go limp, what I'm saying, when he fell down. So
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be interesting to look at. But still, I think Houston should have won this game by way more touchdowns. I think they left a lot of meat on the bone, and but they ended up pulling it out at the end. But yeah, there's something Houston's gonna have to figure out how to. I mean, they're winning games, but they're just not. I don't know. Something about them just not looking right.
Um. Yeah. Like. I pray Nico Collins is okay, bro.
They say he's day to day. Say he's day to
Hopefully
day.
he's good, man, for my fantasy purposes.
Me
Him
too. Me
personally,
too.
him
Me too.
personally,
Yeah, of
him
course.
personally for sure. But my fantasy team is dropping like flies. I don't know what the fuck to do. Oh my god. Uh but look, man, with the Texans, man, there are some concerns with me with them. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. I don't know. Like maybe they do miss mixing and just having that
Sorry. My
uh
homie Steve said that this Negro still getting the massages. That's the escape.
nah, that might be the reason why he ain't doing good because he ain't getting the goddamn massages. Maybe he needs that release. I don't know.
Mhm.
But look, man, I do have some concerns with the Texans, just in the sense of maybe some of their defensive situations hasn't been as good, and then obviously I think they do miss mixing. I think the
Yeah.
combination of him and with that
Mhm.
running game, I think they do miss that to some degree. I
Mhm.
still think they'll be fine. Obviously, having Stephon Diggs there, I think Tank Dell. I think he's on an APB. Like I know he was hurt, but hopefully they can get him healthy and find a way to get him involved because he's too talented. Hopefully Nico Collins isn't out for too long with that hamstring, but we all know hamstrings can be a little iffy. With this Bills team though, they have a lot of problems, man. That last drive that they had was some of the worst decision making I've ever seen. on that last drive. You had the overtime in your back pocket, but then you decided to throw three balls that you had no reason to throw. One of them could honestly be picked off. On top of that, Josh Allen is just putting his body in harm's way with those injuries. You have one concussion. Who's not to say the possibility of you not having another one isn't a high probability. Even though they said he wasn't concussed, we all saw that play, and it was clear as day. They're missing a true number one, man. And maybe Khalil Shakur is their number one because he's probably their best receiver that they got, and they didn't have him yesterday. But they should be one of the teams that should be asking for Devontae Adams. They should be one of the teams asking for Amari Cooper or any receiver that's available. You know what I'm saying? At this point, at Deontay Johnson, anybody, because they desperately need it so bad. And then on top of that, you got Von Miller who got suspended for 4 games. So that doesn't help either with your defense. So they have a lot of problems. It doesn't really do a good showing for Sean McDermott with his decision making.
What was he doing?
I have no idea, man. I don't
know. Throwing 3 straight times out of the end zone. Like,
you had you had all the momentum in the world. Go to overtime. You had the momentum.
Or run the football.
Run the football. Or if you want to throw the ball, at least run it. Get out the end zone. Give your guy a little bit more space, and then try to see if you can get a throw down the field. If not, then take that shit to overtime. Take it to overtime. You had your defense was actually playing decent, even with the suspension and the injuries that you do guys have. They were able to be somewhat dominant against that Texans offense. And it's just then they didn't have Nico Collins. The Texans were kind of struggling. It's not like they did anything on that last drive. They were already in field goal position. So you know what I mean? So I don't know what the Bills were thinking. And it just doesn't get easier for them as their schedule goes.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. We ain't want to spend too much time on this next game. The Chicago Bears beat the Carolina Panthers 36-10. The only reason why I mention this is because Caleb Williams had him a good day.
DJ Moore too.
DJ Moore. They looked like their connection it was the first time their connection looked like they was on point.
Absolutely.
If they could just take this and carry it to the other games, they got something. This is the team that we thought could make the playoffs and get this division a run for their money. You know what I'm saying? And it looks like Caleb Williams is getting more comfortable within the offense, and his offensive line is playing a little bit better. I know they play the Carolina Panthers, so I get it. And we see Andy Dalton come back to life and be Andy Dalton. Free my man Bryce Young. Get him out of there, man.
Did you see the press conference with the coach? Yeah. And he was literally saying we had some offensive linemen go down, so we wanted to protect Andy Dalton, sit him down, and then put Bryce Young, our young quarterback, whose confidence level is at an all-time low because he was running for his life half the time, and then you want to put him behind a hurt offensive line. How does that help him? Bryce Young, ask for a trade, get out of there. Besides the Raiders looking terrible, we look worse than the fucking Panthers. That was their only saving grace was that fucking game. And then people had some hopes the Panthers are not a bad team. No, they're a fucking terrible team. The organization is ran like trash. That coach is mind-boggling that he would say that. It's crazy, bro. What are we doing? Bryce Young, get out of there, bro. Get out of there. You deserve better. I don't think your career is over. Get out of there. Try to get behind Tua or something.
Yeah. Go be a backup somewhere.
If I'm the Dolphins, I would literally try to do that trade. He can literally. Why not?
I already got a bad experience with this little quarterback. I want to sign another little quarterback.
But I'm just saying, it's better than anything that they have right now. Bryce Young is better than Huntley. Bryce Young is better than fucking goddamn. What's his name? I'm it doesn't hurt. And then on top of that, everybody expects that Tua should be back by week 8. It's not like he's going to be playing. It's number one, even if he does get traded, it's not like he's going to be playing next week. By that time, Tua should be back. He should be able to sit behind Tua. And then that connection with them, I think it could help both of them low key because that's his little brother. So I think it could really be a good benefit for him and Tua. That's all I'm saying. True. And then you got a decent offensive minded coach. No matter what you say about what's his name, Mike McDonald or something. What's his name?
Who?
The Dolphins coach.
Oh, Mike McDonald.
McDonald. Yeah. Even though I get some people are starting to hate on Mike, like he's still a decent offensive mind where I think he could help. And then he's really nurturing as far as like being a positive backing to his quarterbacks. You see what he does for Tua. I think he would do the same for Bryce Young. I think that's what Bryce Young needs. And then on top of that, you got talent around him too. I get the offensive line is kind of sketchy at times, but you still got the running backs, even though Devon H is out, Raheem Mostert ain't been playing. You still got Tyreek Hill, you still got Jalen Waddle. It could be a plus.
Yeah, for sure. Poor kid. He looks defeated, man. All right, man. This is the part of the show you're gonna hate, probably.
What's up?
The Denver Broncos beat your Raiders 34-18.
Yeah.
Garner Minshew 12 of 17, 137 yards and a touchdown. Aiden O'Connell ended up coming in later in the game.
Yeah.
Amir Abdullah had 5 carries, 42 yards and a touchdown. Brock Bowers, bright spot, 8 catches, 97 yards, 97 and a touchdown.
Salute.
I ain't even write down. I got that bad, bro.
Jacoby Myers had a okay game too. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But I got that bad, bro. I write down one side. I forget to write the other side down.
Nah.
But regardless, man, I'm gonna let you have the floor on this one, man.
Look, man. I kind of called it. Like I know we kind of started off with a lead. I think we're up 10-0, 14-0, something like that. And Brock Bowers kind of showed just the talent that he is. Shout out to Max. Max was funny when he told Bo Nix they can't hear him. That shit was hilarious. But let's be honest, man. Our team is terrible. As I said, I'm team tanking. I said it. I'm clear as day. I'm team tanking. I do not want to see this team go 500. I don't want to see this team win 7 games, 6 games. I want this to stay at 2 as long as possible for the rest of the season. I don't want to see another win. I might get more mad that I see wins. I might be more mad than I see wins than losses at this point because I'm like, it doesn't do any good for this team to remain at a 500 level. This team needs to lose so we can get a quarterback. We can get some pieces. We can get some pieces with this Devontae Adams trade. We have so many holes, but we need a quarterback. We need a future. We don't have a future. Aiden O'Connell is not the answer. I've been said that. Gardner Minshew is not the answer. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to get too much on AP. He doesn't look good in certain situations. He is a first-year head coach. He still has a lot to learn. I'm not going to be one of these types. I have gone on AP, and I'm going to be honest, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and say he needs to be fired. He is our head coach. He's not getting fired after the first year. It's not happening. And anybody who's asking for that is ridiculous, bro. Like, he needs time, but he does have a lot of improvement that he needs to do. It's not looking good right now, but you got to give him an opportunity. So, but yeah, this team does not need to even think about winning another game this year. They need to go ahead and just start stacking up these losses. And I'm not scared to say it. And I get it. Players aren't going to feel this way. Players are going to win these games. If Max Crosby were to hear this, he'd be like, "Oh, this fucking idiot wants us." Look, I get it, bro. Like you're on that field. You want to win game. You don't want to fucking lose. But I'm talking about as an organizationally, there's no point for us to win games because we're not going anywhere being 500. We can't get a quarterback. And there's only 2 quarterbacks that are worthy of getting a first-round pick, and that's Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. It's not Carson Beck. It's not Quinn Ewers. Those, to me, are second-round at best. If you want a top-notch quarterback, you got to be at least top 2 in the draft this year. You have to be, because you got to think the Browns are terrible. I don't know if they'll draft a quarterback, but that's a possibility. You know what I'm saying? You got the Carolina Panthers situation. I don't know if they have their pick this year, but if they do, they're going to be looking for a fucking quarterback. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I know they're in a better situation, but they need a fucking quarterback. There's so many teams that need quarterbacks, man. So please, I beg you, Raiders, just lose. Lose. God damn. Listen to me for once.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Whatever. I don't know. Y'all weird, dog. Y'all are a week-to-week team, man. 1 minute you look terrible. One minute you beat somebody down. It's like,
I don't want to be week to week. We got the Steelers next week, and watch. We're gonna be fucking like we're gonna win that game. I don't know why. That's another game that's closer to us being away from our dreams and getting Shedeur Sanders.
I'm just like, jeez. I'm not betting on you. I'm not betting on y'all no more. I know that much.
Why would you even do that to begin with? If you're gonna bet on the Raiders, just give me. You know what? Donate to Cris Small Podcast. Put it up. Donate to Cris. If you're gonna bet the Raiders, put just donate to Cris Mall Podcast on Cash App. We can actually use that to better this, give out better content, maybe even potentially do more content than just the two shows. Please, please, if you're gonna bet the Raiders, just donate to that right there, Cris Mall Podcast, Cash App, man. That will do way more better than you betting the Raiders. So shout out.
Yeah. Is Amir Abdullah y'all new starting running back?
Amir Abdullah, I thought it was Madison.
It was Amir and Madison. I don't know.
Yeah, like Zamir White should never. Nah, Zamir White. The Zamir White experiment. He needs more time. He's not it right now. So actually, you know what? Play Zamir White because he ain't gonna do nothing for us and not help us lose the game. So yeah, play him.
The Arizona Cardinals end up beating the San Francisco 49ers 24-23. Kyler Murray was 19 of 30, 195 yards, a touchdown in the pit. Yeah. He also had 7 carries and 83 yards before a touchdown. James Conner, 19 carries, 86 yards. Michael Wilson had 5 catches, 78 yards. Trey McBride had 6 catches, 53 yards. Brock Purdy was 19 of 35, 244 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Jordan Mason had 14 carries, 89 yards. Brandon Ayuk had his best game, 8 catches, 147 yards. And George Kittle had 8 catches, 64 yards, and a touchdown. This was a typical NFC West game. Kyler Murray, he looked good, in certain spots, and then in certain spots he looked like, under the rest. It looked like the San Francisco 49ers was going to pretty much run away with this game. I still think they kind of left the door open for Arizona. Some costly turnovers, a fumble by Jordan Mason gave the ball back to Arizona for them to score. And Brock Purdy, the interception at the end, they had a chance to go down and win the game, but he threw a pick at the end. The Arizona defense actually played really well in this game when they needed to. Marvin Harrison Jr. made a couple of big catches when he needed to for Kyler Murray. And, when Kyler Murray get them little feet moving, man.
Yeah, he's tough. He's tough. One of the faster quarterbacks. Yeah, like Speedy Gonzalez, bro.
Yeah, Frank Warren, a blender a couple times. Frank Warren, one of the best in the league. Boy, he had him in a blender.
You ain't catching him, bro. That's like trying to chase your dog around.
Yeah, man. The little feet just be. He's gone, man. He knew he was gone on that touchdown. He's like,
nah, facts.
I'm out. But shout out to the Cardinals, man. Look, man, they did their thing in the second half, man. And 49ers, man, they got to learn how to close these games out. Learn to close these. This is probably the second game they had where they didn't close it out. I think the Rams game, another NFC West game. I don't know, but they didn't close the door on them, and they let them in the back door, and they won the game. They got to close these games out. Brock Purdy got to play better in this, in these situations too, and they can't fumble the football. I know Mason's a first year starter and all that stuff, but you got to hold on to the football. You can't shoot yourselves in the foot. You cannot do that. You will give opportunities to the other team, and that's what happened in this game. And Arizona had a few more opportunities that they probably shouldn't have had, and they ain't capitalized on them, man. Hey, shout out to Arizona. This is a big win for them. I do think the Arizona, any team, they want to go all in, they should be calling y'all for Devontae Adams.
Oh, to pair him up with Marvin?
He would be a good mentor for Marvin Harrison Jr. You know what I'm saying? And
it's not a far move. It's not a far move. Arizona.
That's what I'm saying. And Devontae like the sun. He don't want to be in the cold weather. He really don't want to be in the cold weather.
No.
But you go to Arizona, you're still close to Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? You can leave your family here. You know what I'm saying? And then go play for Arizona. You know what I'm saying? So I think if Arizona, I'm not sitting there saying they're gonna win the Super Bowl, but if they want to make the playoffs and get this division a run for their money, give Kyler Murray Devontae Adams with the Marvin Harrison Jr. Now you can put Michael Wilson in the slot with the Greg Dortch. You still got Connor in the backfield. I would like them to use Trey Benson a little bit more. I think that kid has potential, especially when he was coming out of Florida State. Defense is playing a little bit better. I'm just saying, I don't think it's a bad idea.
I'm not mad at it because they're I think they're second in the division right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like 49ers are dead last. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
Because they lost to the Rams and Cardinals. And
Mm-hmm.
then it gets even better because you know what? Thursday night, you know who they got to play? The
Seattle.
Seattle Seahawks.
Are they
Off
playing
of
in
a
Seattle too, huh?
They playing in Seattle
Oh, the
too, off
12
of a
is high.
loss,
Yeah.
to Seattle. So
Yes.
you know they're going to be motivated.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have Christian McCaffrey. Who knows when Christian McCaffrey is going to come back? Um, Look, man, I think the Niners are the Niners are in a must. Like, I know we're gonna have our must-win games on Wednesday. That is number one
Oh,
for
yeah,
me.
most
Is the
definitely.
San Francisco? I don't care what sport it is. It is the San Francisco 49ers against the Seattle Seahawks on Thursday night football. And shout out to Thursday night. They've actually had some. They had some
Really
decent
good
games
games this year.
this year. So shout out to
Mm-hmm.
them. It looks like the NFL is showing them some love. So, but I like this is a must win for them. Must win for them. This division is mucked up. You have a lot of 2 and 3 teams. Rams 2 and 3. They're 2 and 3. Cardinals are 2 and 3. Seattle's 3 and 2. They had a ugly loss against the Giants, which we'll get to. But look, man, the Cardinals. That's why I'm not mad at your take on Devontae Adams because they have a clear chance to win this division.
Mm-hmm.
You're number 2. You have a clear shot, and then on like minus the watch. This is why I think Washington is legit because Washington dog walked Arizona. Besides that, Arizona has played Super Bowl contenders, betting wise, all wise in national with the Bills, the Lions, and the Niners. And they should have won 2 of them, and they did beat San Francisco on the road. It wasn't even Arizona. It was on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't care if they didn't have Christian McCaffrey because you still got Mason, you still got Debo, you still got Kittle. That defense is still healthy for the most part, minus Greenlaw. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you still got Trent Williams. Brock Purdy has been playing pretty good for the most part. So they're like, this was a legit win from the Cardinals. Like everybody should be taking them serious. This is why I fuck with Kyler Murray, bro. And Marvin Harrison didn't have a really good game, but if you add Devontae Adams to that, oh my god, oh my god, you know what I mean? And if I'm Devontae, why wouldn't I want to go there? Why wouldn't I? You know what I'm saying? Like.
Or at least if you don't get Devontae, go get Amari Cooper.
Go get Amari Cooper. Go get Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson wants to get out of fucking Carolina. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm the Washington Redskins or the Commanders, go get Deontay Johnson. Add that. Like, you guys are like Washington is a legit title contender. I'm sorry, they are. If their defense continues to play this way and Jaden Daniels stay healthy, your running game is solid with Eckler and Brian Robinson. Like your receivers, if you add like. If I'm Devontae, why wouldn't I want to go to Commanders? Like if I'm Deontay Johnson, why wouldn't I want to go to Commanders or the Cardinals? Mark Cooper, same. Like there's options for you besides a broke down Aaron Rodgers in New York and Derek Carr, who ain't never gonna win you shit. They're not. Like stop with that. Like, and then I get it. People want to try to. And if you can find your way, I would hate it. But if you can find your way to the Chiefs, but the Chiefs have. They don't have the most free cap space from what I remember, but if you can find a way to make it happen, make it happen. But
make it work, baby.
But at the end of the day, I still believe they're going to get Rashee Rice back. So what's the point of even that? They got Rashee Rice. He's going to come back. He'll be fine. He getting that little cleanup surgery that they're trying to say is, we're trying to see if he has a torn. Negro, please. Y'all cleaning up his knee. The swelling is down. Y'all cleaning up his knee. He'll be back in like 4 to 6 weeks. We all know it. I don't know why you're trying to drag it on. Because if it was a torn ACL, I've seen Nick Chubb's knee fucking exploded. And you can't tell me his knee wasn't fucking the size of a fucking basketball. And yet they were able to tell me that his knee with his ACL, MCL, LCL, all the L's were gone from his knee by the next day. Stop trying to throw the cap on Rashee Rice. He will be back. So the Chiefs don't even need him in reality. You're going to get Pacheco back. It will be fine. But there's other options besides the Jets and the Saints. That's all I'm saying. Sorry for being long-winded. I apologize.
You good.
And Chris, you know I'm right about Rice. You know I'm right.
I don't know. I don't know. We're waiting to see it, man.
Stop, bro.
I'm not getting my hopes up with Rice.
It
could come out today that he tore.
I see that smile on your face. You know it's real.
Some of the doctors said that sometimes the swelling is hard to see.
Come on, man. You can't buy the cap, bro. Bro, come on, man. They trying to get the headlines, bro. Get out of here.
We trying to get the headline. No,
yeah, man. Y'all gotta stay number one, man. It's the Taylor Swift effect, bro. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Y'all learn from E! News and TMZ now, man. Y'all gotta drag on. I'm like, bro, we know what's up, bro.
They said they about to make a reality show with Chiefs wives.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Next game. I have no comment. I'm already ahead.
Green Bay Packers beat the Los Angeles Rams 24-19. Jordan Love 15-26, 2 touchdowns and a pick, a dumbass pick by the way. Josh Jacobs 19 carries, 73 yards and a touchdown. Tucker Crafts 4 catches, 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jaden Reed had 4 catches, 78 yards. Also, Matthew Stafford was 29-45, 260 yards, a touchdown, and 1 pick. Kyra Williams had 22 carries, 102 yards, and a touchdown. Whittington had 7 catches, 89 yards.
Mhm.
Um, this was kind of a back and forth. It was a little struggle in the beginning. Jordan Love, man, he made one. He made a throw to Reed. Jaden Reed. It probably should have been picked because it was like
Mhm.
3 defenders over there. But shout out to
Mhm.
Jaden Reed for helping out his quarterback and going to get the ball. That's what you
Yeah.
got to do for your quarterback sometimes.
Mhm.
Some of these guys be waiting for the ball to hit them right in the hands perfectly. It don't work like that sometimes. You got to go get it. And he went and got it. But the Rams had opportunities to win this game.
Yeah.
They definitely had opportunities. It was just Green Bay did a little bit more, turned the football over a little bit more. Xavier McKinney is he's becoming one of the better safeties in this league, man.
Mhm.
But yeah, man. Shout out to Green Bay. They end up pulling it out. Jordan Love, you gotta stop throwing these dumbass picks, man. They won back when you was in the end zone. That pick six you threw, that was terrible, man. I almost was off you. I was almost like, I'm done with him. I'm done with him. I'm done
Yeah.
with him. No, but he ended up playing a little bit better later on in the game. But yeah, shout out to Green Bay. They got another W. They got a W off of a bad, a loss they took last week to the Vikings. So they bounced back. They got one. The Rams, they just gotta get healthy, man. They gotta get Cooper Cup and Puka Nakua back, and then the Rams will be a lot better off. Even though their offense isn't bad, Demarcus Robinson, Tutu Atwell, they're quality wide receivers. They're just not Cooper Cup and Puka Nakua.
Nah, man, that's why I feel bad for the Rams because I think their season would go totally different if Nakua and Cooper Cup were healthy. This explosiveness that they would have, they were one of the two. Both of those would easily be top 10 receivers in this league. That's why I was just like trying to see if the Rams could just win a couple games. Like these, like they're not getting blown out. They're losing a lot of close games. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So if they had these receivers, I think they
defense
win
is
these
playing a
games.
lot better.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's not the team. I don't think the team is bad. I just think they're injury ridden right now. That's really affected them. And Matthew Stafford's trying his best to try to get these wins. So he's gonna have to make some difficult throws. So I get it. Those interceptions will be a little bit higher, but if they can just find a way to just steal, like they're supposed to get Cooper Cup back the next game that they play.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure if they have a bye this coming week or if they're playing anybody. But I think watch once they get Cooper Cup back, I wouldn't be surprised if they start winning some games, and then if they can get a cool little win streak, and try to make it to October and trying to find a way the end of October and try to find a way to make it to 3-4, maybe 4-4, and then you get Nakua back. Especially the way this division is playing out, they still got a chance. They still got a chance. You know what I mean? I think they're only 2 games back, 2.5 games back, or something like that. It's not that bad. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they got to start winning these games. But if they can find a way to get both of these guys back, start with Cooper Cup and then get Nakua, they got a shot. They still got a shot.
Yeah, so they have a bye week this week, and then they play your team.
Oh, even better, baby. Even better. Even better. You know what I mean? I smell wins coming the Rams' way in the near future. I really do.
They got y'all next, and then they got the Vikings and the Seahawks. So
I think those are winnable games. Like Vikings, yes, the Vikings are really, really good, but I don't expect them to be undefeated going the whole year. So every game is a winnable game with the Rams. And I've seen them go on the road and win a tough game. So
they got a
anything's
brutal.
possible.
They kind of got a brutal. They kind of got a crazy schedule.
Who, the Rams?
Mm-hmm.
Who else they got?
Let's see. I mean, Miami's a win, and New England they beat them.
Oh, they'll probably have Tua will probably be back by that game, so they'll be tough.
And then they play the Eagles, the Saints.
Eagles are Saints. I don't know, man.
Then you got Buffalo. Then you got San Francisco on Thursday, and and then you got the Jets, Arizona, then Seattle to close it
I
out.
don't think that's bad. I really don't
Yeah.
think that's that bad because Minnesota is probably your toughest game.
Mhm.
You expect the Niners, like you never know. Christian McCaffrey might be back. The divisional game that'll always be tough. I'm not really pressed on the Bills unless if they were able to get a receiver in a trade. If they don't get a receiver in a trade, I don't have no faith in them.
Yeah.
The Eagles, I don't have no faith in them. The Saints, I have no faith in them. Like,
I
and
do
then
want to see
the
the
Cardinals
Eagles
is
when
gonna be tough.
AJ
That Cardinals
Brown.
game is gonna be tough though.
I do want to see the Eagles when AJ Brown do get back. See how
That
they
too,
do.
I do, but I think they have so much
Yeah.
drama in that team. I think
Yeah.
I don't know if the AJ Brown can even save them.
Yeah, I know. You're right. The New York Football Giants beat the Seattle Seahawks 29-20. Shout out to Stan. He was happy. I'm glad.
San Joel, y'all should be without Malik Neighbors too.
I know. That's what I was saying.
That's impressive, dog. That's
It
impressive.
was. Daniel Jones didn't have a bad game. 23 of 34, 257 yards and 2 touchdowns. I thought it was funny the first drive when he tripped over his own foot. That was hilarious.
That's the Jones way.
That was hilarious. I was like, oh, this how it's gonna go. But no, it didn't. Y'all might got a star running back in Tyrone Tracy Jr. Y'all might.
Yeah, he was nice.
I like Devin Singletary, but Tyrone Tracy Jr. might be your guy.
Maybe
18 carries, 129 yards. You can't be mad at that. Like, yeah, that brother right there. I was clipped. I don't know about that one. I thought he tripped on his own feet, but okay.
Sticking up for his boy. I respect it.
I respect that. Darius Slayton, 8 catches, 120 yards, and a touchdown. He was. I'm glad he had a good game because he was linked to the Chiefs on Darius Slayton. Anyway,
nah, y'all gonna get him. Y'all gonna get Darius Slay.
No, keep winning. Keep winning. Keep having good games, Darius Slayton. Geno Smith, 28 of 40, 284 yards and a touchdown. Kenneth Walker had 4 carries. Oh, he had 4 carries and 72 yards. Tyler Lockett, 4 catches, 75 yards. I don't know, man. Seattle, man, they got a team. It's just they can't pull it out at the end. They just make too many crucial mistakes at the end. Yeah. It was a lot of, and then Mike McDonald, he's got to get his team set. There was too many delay of games and illegal procedures and false start. Like they got to get that corrected because a lot of times that's why drives get stalled out on that team because it be like they'll get a big play from DK or Tyler Lockett or Jackson Smith and Jigba or one of those running backs, and then it'd be like a 15-yard penalty because whatever delay a game or something. Like they got to get that straightened because that's what's killing them is those penalties.
Yeah,
those crucial penalties because. Like I said, their defense is actually not bad. Once they get some of them guys back on the defensive line, they'll be really good. And their offense can match up with anybody. They could go score for score. Geno is actually not having a bad year.
He's actually having a really good year.
Yeah, he's looking like the Geno that first got there. So it's like they just got to correct those penalties, man. That's what kills them. It kills them drives, and then they end up got a punt, and then put more pressure on that defense. Defense get tired, and then bam, this is what happens. So. But shout out to the Giants, man. They played a really good game, man. Daniel Jones was very efficient without Malik Neighbors. You know what I'm saying? This should be encouraging for the Giants. I'm not sitting there saying that they're going to win those Super Bowls. I'm sorry, Stan. But this does up their chances they could possibly get into the playoffs, man.
Yeah, man. Especially
my bad. And that defensive line is actually playing really well. Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, you're actually starting to get your money's worth out of that defensive line for sure. Look, man, with the Seahawks, man, like I agree with you. A lot of that has to come down with coaching with all these penalties and stuff. He just needed to get it out of him. But if they can just slow that down, the Seahawks team can be a dangerous team. It was good to see Jackson Smith and Jigba get some action. We've all been waiting to see his explosion into the league. He slowly seems like he's found his foot. I love their running back tandems. I do love that. But with the Giants, man, like, look, man, there's nothing but to be impressed with this team and Brian Daboll and what they've been doing. I thought it was funny. I forgot who was filming it in the locker room.
I think it was Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah. And he was like, you better stop filming that shit. He like, my bad, sir. No, I'm not.
Yes,
I thought that shit was hilarious. But overall, it's good that they're having fun, man, with this Giants team. You know what I'm saying? Like this division, minus the Commanders, who are very dominant right now. like the Eagles and Cowboys, I'm not really pressed on them. I'm really not. Even with AJ and Brown coming back, like, the Giants, they played an impressive game against I wouldn't say impressive, but they played a close game against the Cowboys on Thursday night, which they could have won. If Malik Neighbors didn't get hurt, they had that last drive. They might have had the opportunity to either tie and go to overtime or win that game. So hopefully Malik Neighbors is able to come back the next game and give that offensive boost. We see the excellence that Malik Neighbors is. We see the how he can potentially be the number one receiver in the league in the future. He can be competing with Justin Jefferson and Rasheed Rice and Tyreek Hill for being one of the top receivers in the game. Man, he's that special. And you even include Brian Thomas, like them LSU boys, Jamar Chase. Them LSU boys are legit. You know what I mean? They're some of the best receivers in the league. So, it's a good stepping stone. I agree with you. I don't expect them to. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but they'll have a chance to make the playoffs. I don't expect them to win no Super Bowl. I think that's a guarantee. But this is a good foot for them to go in the future. I think this does help Brian Dable stable him being the coach of the future for this team. Whether Giants fans like it or not, I don't know. That's for you to decide. But look, man, you should be proud of this team. We had expectations of them being the worst team in the league, and they're proving all of us wrong. So shout out to them. Shout out to Brian Dable, man. And this team is something to look out for. No matter who you are and who they play, win or lose, this team's gonna fight and they're gonna give you a tough matchup.
I actually had the Broncos the worst team. Them motherfuckers won 3 in a row.
Yeah, man. Honestly, like they were top 4 of the worst teams in the league.
I give the Broncos this. Their defense might be legit.
No, it's always been legit. It's just that they didn't have their offense couldn't give them nothing. Yeah, so it's just like to me it's like kind of like who's that team? It's kind of like who is it? It was just right off the tip of my tongue. Who is it? It's kind of like the situation with the Steelers and the Browns. Like they both have top tier defenses, but they can't get off the field, so they get worn out half the goddamn time, and then injuries start getting involved because they're on the field too long. They get tired as the season goes. They start looking worse and worse because they're depleted energy wise and talent wise because they keep getting hurt because their offense can't help them. It's kind of like the same. It's like the same to me with how they were.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Sunday Night Football. You had the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cowboys. Cowboys ended up pulling it out at the end, 20-17. I want to apologize to the podcast people out there. I didn't watch this game. I didn't have no desire to watch this game. I had better things to do in my life than watch the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cowboys, and I knew it was everything that I thought it was going to be. Terrible game. I saw Maul X. He's talking about Justin Fields is a terrible quarterback. He's been staying pat on that. I respect that brother for that. I just got one question for you. Mm-hmm. Do you start Russell Wilson?
I don't know why you don't. I don't understand the reason why they're sticking with Justin Fields. Like, I get it. Like, you see the explosion as far as like athletic ability, but him throwing the football it's just so bad on the eyes, man. He misses so like Chris Collinsworth was literally just going play by play on easy throws that he could have found that were way better that he chooses not to. I'm like this defense is Super Bowl contending defense. Like you're doing them a disservice with them continually playing Justin Fields. Like I don't see it. Like I think Justin Fields should be more of a gadget kind of player for right now. Like I think Justin Fields will never be what Russell Wilson was when he was in Seattle. I'm not saying Russell Wilson is the Seattle Russell Wilson, but I think he's a better thrower of the football. I think statistically it's just the answer to go. Like you need more explosion. George Pickens, stop doing dumb shit. Like come on, man. Like he keeps doing dumb shit where it's just like, bro, you're asking yourself to get traded off that team. But Mike Tomlin's gonna stick with you as long as he can. Like we saw with Antonio Brown and some of those other receivers that they used to have. So I don't know. That's just me. I would be me if I made a decision. I would try to go with Russell as soon as possible.
What's your thoughts on the Cowboys?
No thoughts. Congratulations, you won, but you're still not good. You're still not good. You're still not good. Dak Prescott, I'll say this. Dak Prescott, for all the injuries that they do have, and you know what I mean, Tolbert, he had a really good game. You were able to win a game without, CeeDee Lamb getting over 100 yards. Is that impressive on the road against Pittsburgh? I do. Do I think the rain delay have an effect on the game? I do, but besides that, there ain't really much to say about this game, Steelers gonna come here next week, and they come to Raiders next week, and hopefully they can win that game.
Shout out to the homegirl D. She'll be in town probably.
Mhm.
All right, man. Who's your best player and team this week?
So best team, I have the Commanders. I think this clear cut. They've been consistently great. And then for best player, I gave it to Kirk Cousins, man. It was really good to see him getting back to form, throwing for over 500 yards. I think he had four TDs, 3 TDs or something like that. Really, really impressive, man. So I'm happy that he's able to get back into form.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Commanders too. They put the beats on. I know it was a bad team, but still they put the beats on the Carolina Panthers. Um, but my best player, I'm gonna go with Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson had a really good game this week. He looked like the MVP that he's been, and yeah, man, shout out to Lamar Jackson, man.
Yeah, shut up.
This the worst player in team should be like unanimous, but I'm gonna let you go.
Oh, clean sweep, baby. Cleveland Browns and Deshaun Watson. If it ain't that, I don't know who you got, but that's mine, and that's easy.
That's mine too. Terrible. You might get the hell no in the week. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's still early. All right, man. Another great show.
Mm-hmm.
Who does your flowers of the week go to, man?
So my flowers of the week. Let's see if I can find it. All right. So I got a quick two. So flowers go to Shams. Congratulations. It seems like you're gonna be at ESPN. So hopefully you got that nice deal. So I'm glad. I know we were kind of talking a little bit about the direction of ESPN and their NBA covers. I think that kind of helps my questions a little bit. So shout out to him. And then I have to give it to Bron and Bronny, bro. Seeing that duo on the court, him playing with his son. I know I talk my shit about LeBron, but man, there's nothing you can do but salute that, and that has to be a very special moment for both of them, for them to be on the same team and being on the same court. I know it's only preseason, but I'm sure they'll have this opportunity in the regular season, so I had to give my flowers to them, man, and shout them out.
Yeah, I'm gonna give mine. This is Breast Cancer Wellness Awareness Month, so I want to give my shout out to all the men and women, especially the women. With the women, of course, all the cancer survivors out there that survived from breast cancer, man. I want to give love to y'all, show y'all flowers, and the ones that are going through it right now. You know what I'm saying? We pray for y'all. We hope y'all, get through this, this time. But I want to show love to all y'all.
Yeah.
All right, who gets your hell now?
Easy 2-pack. First one goes to the ACC refs that referee the UNLV Syracuse game. Y'all were some of the worst I've seen, so y'all get a hell nah. And then number two, I'm gonna give it to Drake. Drake was at a party or something. He spoke about real friends. He said people you thought were your friends, they might switch up, they might stab you in the back, they might do a lot of things to you. I'm gonna give you a hell nah, my brother, because you're the number one co-founder of stabbing people in the back. You sleep with everybody's damn girlfriends. You know what I mean? You keep people under your label to write your lyrics, and you don't promote them, i.e., Mackinnon, some party next door shit. We go on and on. But look, man, you get a hell nah, man. And then everybody else that's still on this Drake Kendrick beef, let it go, bro. We're in October, man. Let it go. It's over. It's done. So those are my hell no's.
Yeah, I agree with you with the Drake one. Yeah, he's just so emotional and just
Bro, let it
go.
Let it go.
And I'm hearing a theory out there that some people think he's about to go at J. Cole.
Oh, that's a possibility. I won't be surprised.
Leave J. Cole alone, man. You don't want to have that redemption story.
Nah.
Because if he redeems out for you, if you lose to Pusha T, Kendrick Lamar, and J. Cole,
which he would. J. Cole would mop the water with him.
You gotta go in the hiding, brother.
That's what he's supposed to be doing now, but he can't stay hidden.
He's not used to it. That's why he's not used to it. He's used to being outside, winning this whole summer. It's been a bad summer for Drake.
I don't know if he even has the same buzz anymore. Does he? Like, if he were to I'm dropping some shit, would he even have the same buzz?
I mean, people still gonna listen to him.
Not like before though. Like people will listen to him because he's Drake, but I don't think the buzz will be there. Like I think I was just like, bro, just take 2 years off, bro. I've been said that. I secure for everything. Out of sight, out of mind. Let people miss you and come back.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ugly ass on. Oh my.
All right, man. Another show on the books. We got to show love.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Magnet. Introduce yourself to Magnet, the ultimate sports drink. Are you ready to take your performance to the next level? Do you want a sports drink that eliminates the muscle cramps and fatigue when working out or training? Meet Magnet, the sports drink designed for athletes who refuse to settle for mediocrity. I know you're asking why Magnet. It's power-packed electrolytes and it rehydrates and restores balance with their scientifically formulated blend with magnesium that fights fatigue and boosts endurance. It has natural ingredients made with real fruit extracts, no artificial colors or flavors, because your body deserves the best. It has delicious flavors like mixed fruit and watermelon that keep you revitalized and ready for action. It will boost your performance with essential vitamins and minerals. Magnet fuels your workouts, helping you crush your goals. Join Magnet, whether you're training, competing, or simply staying active. Magnet is your go-to refreshment for peak performance. You can order it now on our direct link at drinkmagnet.com. Also, you can use the promo code Cris and Maul to get $5 off your purchase. So shout out to Good Magnet. Use the promo code, man. Save some bread, man. Get that energy.
Yeah, man, definitely. Get you some good energy from Magnet Sports Drink, man.
Yeah. Deshaun could use it.
Oh, damn. Nah, he might contaminate it. No, we talked about this before, but hey, man, if you want to donate to the Cris Mall podcast, donate to Cris Mall podcast. We'll accept anything, man. You know what I'm saying? Your contributions is much appreciated from both me and Maul. So if you want to go ahead and donate, go to our Cash App at Cris Mall podcast. Whatever streaming platform you use to listen to your podcast, the Cris Mall podcast is available, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, whatever you use to listen to your podcast, we are on there. Also, if you're first time watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification button. So when we go live on Mondays at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, if you're jumping the lives, you can talk about these topics, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, X, wherever you at, and you're listening, Twitch, and YouTube, of course, you can jump in and talk to us. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And whatever social media platform you use, whether it be X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, all of them, Facebook, whatever you use, follow us. We will follow you back. We're just some regular guys who like to talk sports and music and movies and all kinds of various other things. So go ahead and follow us. We will follow you back. Also, if you have a critique or feedback, or you have a question or a topic you want us to bring up on the show, you can hit us up, DM, email, or our mentions. And if we like said topic or question, we'll bring it up on the show. We'll shout you out because we want to show love to those who show love to us. So go ahead and hit us up, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good people. It's a plethora of games. My Kansas City Chiefs play tonight. You know what I'm saying? They play the Saints. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get this dub real quick. Yeah. Shirts are coming soon. We'll have an official date coming soon. But yeah, the Cris Mall podcast merch is coming soon. We have a black one and we're gonna have a white one. They will be coming soon.
Yes, sir.
So stay tuned for that information.
Yep.
All right, good people. Until next time, we are out.